Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in St. Augustine, Florida, a man who is described as both the perfect Southern gentleman and a complete psychopath shows his true colors while finally confessing to his career as a serial killer. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. We are more than excited for another wild, crazy edition of Small Town Murder. Yeah. They keep getting crazier and crazier. I got to tell you that, so thank you. Quickly, whatever app you're listening on, whatever platform, 5 stars would be wonderful. Give a review. Yeah. They do help drive us up the charts. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. All sorts of new merchandise up. The murder birds are here. Also, the coloring book is out. Oh, my goodness. All sorts of stuff. So get all of that right now. Also, get your tickets to live shows. Tons of live shows lined up. Yeah. The next couple we have in May here was the 20th and 21st, I think. Right. We're in Cincinnati and Detroit. Those are sold out, but people keep returning tickets here and there because it was rescheduled for 2 years.
You never know.
Get in there. I think Detroit might have a couple that will return right now. So get in there, try to get those, and you can do that with all the cities throughout the year on that. So thank you so much for doing that. Can't wait to see everybody wherever the hell we may find you there. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of the crazy, insane bonus stuff here.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness. $5 or above gets you our whole back catalog, more than 100 episodes of Patreon. It also gets you access to everything we put out bonus-wise. Crime and sports, small town murder. This week, what you're going to get, your everything this week is going to be, for crime and sports, we're going to talk about an amazing thing that happened. We love a scammer.
Yeah.
This guy showed up at a NASCAR race. No one knew who he was. He had some faked, qualifications.
Credentials of something, yeah.
Raced, crashed like 5 times, disappeared for 40 years. No one ever heard from him. And then in the last month, he resurfaced and said, okay, here's who I am and here's what happened.
Hey, guys, remember
it's
that?
Amazing. Amazing. Check that out. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to touch on a subject that we touched on a few episodes ago when we had the kid with that they blamed everything on Grand Theft Auto 3, all of his murders. We're going to talk about throughout history when pop culture's been blamed for murder, whether it's video games, music, there's been different times. We're going to talk about, it's been quite a few times, so we'll talk about that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all that stuff and a shout out at the end of the show.
Oh, you bet.
Because damn it, we do appreciate what you're doing, so thank you. We're gonna do that, and your name will be mispronounced horribly. Don't worry, that'll happen.
Welcome. Yeah.
You got that. Quickly, the disclaimer. It's a comedy show. There,
it is.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
We're comedians.
Yeah.
It's the story's real. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
We wish it wasn't. I wish I had the talent to write these stories every week from my head and they didn't have to actually happen to people, but they are actually real. Nothing's made up for comic embellishment or anything like that. It's just how silly it is to think that I should murder someone. Funny things happen because it's a ridiculous thought to have, and that's what we make fun of. We make fun of that. We make fun of a small town because we're all from somewhere that sucks.
Sure.
Everybody is. Make fun of a bumbling police force that lets a guy go for 10 years and more people get murdered. Stuff like that. We keep it where it belongs. What we don't do, we go out of our way not to do. We don't make fun of the victim or the victim's family.
Why's that?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah.
But we're not scumbags.
That is the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to hear a crazy story. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever, never go together, you might not like the show, but you might actually give it a chance. Either way, no complaining afterwards. I don't want to hear that shit. So that's when, with that said, it's time to sit back. Let's clear the lungs, Jimmy. What do you say? And shout, shut up
and give me murder.
Let's do this, Jimmy, shall we? Let's go on a trip.
Great.
Right, let's go. We are going down south today, down to St. Augustine, Florida.
Yikes.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Florida time. They're never not crazy in Florida. Florida has so many murders to choose from that if we're doing it, it's insane because it's not like Wyoming, which is hard. You really got to dig there's not a lot of murders, period, so you don't find a lot of crazy ones. In Florida, you can just scrape it right off the top like chum. There's just so
the
much.
lifestyle itself is bananas. What? Why wouldn't murder be?
There's interstates. There's people from everywhere.
Yeah.
There's also swamp people. It's like a really weird environment. So
and the campaign for traveling and tourism there is out of this world. They paint the picture there like it's Hawaii. Yeah.
I mean, especially when they have brochures that are like kill 3 women and go home without being caught. It's going to attract the wrong element. They're like bring the kids to Disneyland, come here to the beach, and then there's that one for your serial killers.
Come be a pirate for a weekend.
That's in this story actually. They're not in our story, but in the town.
Yeah.
St. Augustine, Florida. Quickly, we'll go through because our story is wacky and long and just involved. There's multiple murders and multiple amounts of craziness. St. Augustine, Florida, northeastern Florida. Yeah. So right in the taint of Florida. Florida is 2 panhandles going up and connecting at a taint area. This is more in the taint area. It's about 50 minutes to Jacksonville. So
it's
in there.
That close to there, huh?
Yeah, it's over in that area. So more than 4.5 hours down to Miami to go all the way down the coast, and about 2.5 hours to Indialantic, which was our last Florida episode.
Right.
Episode 245, I See Dead People, which was a
we do.
very, very crazy one here. So this is in St. Johns County, area code 904, and their motto is, it's true too, quote, the nation's oldest city.
Is that right?
Yeah. Or, as it's more popularly known, we still haven't fixed shit. So that's also that. Now, the nation's oldest city, it was founded, a little history, it was founded in 1565 by Spanish explorers.
No
so it was,
shit.
Yeah, it's the oldest European inhabited city in the United States. Predates, Plymouth Rock and all that stuff.
It's essentially where they all landed, huh?
Yeah, originally, the original one there. It's the oldest inhabited European established settlement in what's now the contiguous United States. So founded September 8th, 1565 by Spanish Admiral Pedro Menendez de Alviles.
Oh.
So him, who was also Florida's first governor.
Is that right?
I guess if you find it, you can govern it. If you're going to have all the guns and the ships, you're going to be governor after a while. He named the settlement San Augustine as his Augustine, actually, without the E. His ships had all sorts of. They had troops, supplies from Spain. They really came loaded for bear here with all sorts of shit.
Just in case.
Yeah, this city was the capital of Spanish Florida for over 200 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this was the main spot because it was the oldest city. It was designated as the capital of British East Florida when the colony was established in 1763. Whoa. And then Great Britain gave Florida back to Spain in 1863. 20 years of Florida, they were like, you know what? There's a lot we want to keep, but not this. Yeah. You can have that.
We've noticed that when we're there, something in the air makes us fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're out of the rest of the country. We kind of had that war, and then on top of that, we only have the craziest part left, so we're not going to keep that. You can have that back. I don't know. There's swamp people. We found swamp people. We don't want it anymore.
Oldest place in the oldest city.
Shit.
Wow, take that, New England.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Spain ceded Florida to the United States in 1819, and then St. Augustine was designated the capital of the Florida Territory until it was made a state officially, and then it was moved to Tallahassee.
And then they realized there's better places.
They're like, there's bigger cities. What are we doing? Yeah. There's no room for a state works here. We can't do this. So this town reviews. This place is it's a big tourist town. People love coming to this place tourist-wise. It's a kind of a pretty town here. This place has over 85-star reviews on the site that I use, which is
85 stars?
85-star reviews, 80.
Wow.
So that's a lot of five. Normally it's, there'll be 3 5-star reviews and, some 3s and 4s. This is mainly 5s. People love this place, but we found some complainers, obviously. I mean, what are we here for? So here's 5 stars. St. Augustine is definitely a one-of-a-kind place with tons of monuments and gift shops. Well, nobody can beat gift shops.
Yeah, I mean...
Who doesn't love tons of gift shops? Oh, the same shit from 2 doors down. Magnets with in
the shape of Florida.
Well, yeah, in the shape of Florida, but it's got a ship's wheel on it,
and a star where St. Augustine is at.
Right there.
James, all my favorite places that I like to visit.
The melted
mostly,
snowman, snow globe, just the little coal pieces
in
it
the
that
sand,
you shake. In the water. It's a Florida snowman. It's just melted with they sell those.
My favorite places are dominated with landmarks and gift shops. Just
that's all I want. Gift shops.
As far as the eye can see.
Give me kitschy shit I can stick to my refrigerator, please.
Sell me trash, please.
Please. You can find all sorts of tacky little tourist gifts in every store and dine in for some heavenly food. They said that like it's positive, the tacky.
Yeah, I've never heard
shit.
Tacky as a positive fucking
It's so
way to
tacky
describe
there.
it.
I love it. It's just tacky. I
My
don't know what
favorite
it
shit
is.
is so tacky.
Oh, it's tacky. You can buy tacky things. It's my favorite. My personal favorite place to eat, I guess it was eat, but mistaken here, is Burger Buckets.
Good Lord.
I don't want, besides fried chicken, I'd keep my food out of a bucket, please. It's only because I've already had it out of a bucket for chicken, so it's done. What's done is done. But the rest of my food, give it to me in a receptacle that bears food, not, caulk or some kind of.
We've already said chicken's the
slop.
only quantity that you can sell by the bucket.
That's it. That's all you're allowed. Oh my word, it is amazing. And word is all capital letters.
This person is very specific.
They go on to rave more about Burger Buckets. They have a donut burger. I have yet to try it, but I cannot wait. Great, thanks. They have a donut burger.
I've heard tell of the donut burger.
Wow. Hi, pray tell about the donut burger. Highly recommend to stop by if you're ever traveling near downtown St. Augustine. So all about the burger buckets, everyone. So donut burgers there. 3 stars. It's a beautiful city, but the homelessness throughout the village is out of control. I mean, it's sad to see, and you feel for these people, but it really takes away from the beauty with all the panhandling.
We have changed that word forever.
We really have. To us, that's a very specific behavior that has nothing to do with asking for money.
Well,
going around fucking their cousins, stabbing their mom in the face in the front yard of the trailer. That's panhandling in our
people
vernacular.
who pandle oftentimes will panhandle.
People who pandle. I love it. 2 stars. 2 stars here for the next one. Beautiful city, but very good old country. Good old boy country.
Yeah.
But very good old boy country. They don't like outsiders unless you're a tourist spending money. Very, in all capitals, racist and not LGBT friendly. Not welcoming to live, just to visit. Okay, if that's what you like. So I mean,
that's what good old boy place means.
You explained it. 2 stars. Do not come here. There is so much traffic and locals can't even enjoy their city. So please, for the love of God, do not come here.
Stop.
All capital letters, no punctuation. That's screamed out a car window. That's the equivalent of someone screaming the N-word at someone out the car window as they drive. Like, it's in traffic. This is just a crazy...
That's the guy that is tired.
He wrote this in traffic. That's why there's no punctuation.
Yeah.
he audio dictated it, and it came out all
hit
caps.
Caps lock and then started talking.
1 star.
Yep.
That one somehow wasn't 1 star. 1 star. My experience in this town after living here for 1 year is horrid. Can't wait to move. From the real estate agents and builders that rip you off to the contractors that don't show up or finish the job. Well, that's a lot of people on meth down there, so that's what happens.
What are you going to do?
I also think that there are some of the worst doctors here, too. How many doctors have you been here to in a year? What's wrong with you? The quality of restaurants is not as good as, I mean, she could be sick. Who knows? Or he.
What's the matter with the burger buckets?
Not as good as other towns or cities. They had no mention of the burger bucket here whatsoever. Yeah. Taxes are the highest I've ever paid, and I have asked the public officials why. I would not rate this as a good town for retired people. The supermarkets are even overpriced, and I have lived in NYC, Idaho, and California.
Yeah, well, head up 50 minutes to Jacksonville. You'll be much happier.
Yeah, I think. The school system, while it's supposed to be the best in the state of Florida, is not really saying much since most of the schools in Florida are very bad. I would say for a weekend away, St. A is fun if you like overpriced trinket shops, congested traffic, poor restaurant service, bars, and drunken college students to go with them, then this could be for you.
Yeah.
There you go. So, from the greatest place in the world with the most amazing donut burgers to hell on earth.
Please don't come.
Please don't come. Population here of people who have came, 16,518 people have come. Way more female than male here. That's because it's a lot of old people too. Tons of old people here. A lot of college age kids and their great grandparents. It seems like I'll go to the college down there and I'll just live with great grandma. Like that's what is happening here. 39% married, so they've either died off or aren't married yet.
Yeah.
High divorce rate's a little bit higher. It's about the same amount people are single with children as the national average. Race of this town, 81% white, 9.5% black, 1% Asian, and 6% Hispanic, which is very low for anywhere in Florida. Yeah. Very low, actually, and only a third of the national average, really. So religion in this town, 38% are religious, and it's spread out. Mostly Catholic is the highest one, but it's not by much. There's some Baptists, Episcopalians are making a strong showing here.
Yeah.
0.5% Jewish. It's Florida. You can't get 1% Jewish here. I can't sing Hava Nagila in a Florida episode. Fuck my life.
What is
anyway.
happening?
Not happy with this at all. Politically here, St. Johns County, last election, 36% Democrat, 63% Republican, 1% Independent. Economy here, unemployment rate is about the same as the rest of the country, which is insanely low, like close to 3%. The median household income here is about $43,000 per year for a household, which is about $10,000 less than the national average. So.
Yeah, and if everything's high priced here, that's not good.
Well, cost of living, we'll talk about, is 100. The overall, which that's normal, 100. Yeah. Here it's 102, so it's pretty close.
It's average, yeah.
Housing is a 110, so median home cost here $352,100.
Yeah, that's Florida.
Yeah. And if we talked you into it, and you are craving that donut burger, we have for you the St. Augustine, Florida Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,086, which is less than the national average. So I guess that's what to do if you're looking for. I guess probably with the college kids too, you'd have a lot of rentals.
Yeah, but if you can't afford $325,
that's a good fact. There, that's good. We have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 672 square foot house. It's the cheapest one I could find here. Cheapest one that was found. It's not that bad. It's a little worn down. You might want to update it a little bit and do some yard work, but it's not a terrible house. It's not unlivable, and it's $159,000.
Oh.
So not too terrible. Then here's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,536 square foot house. It's red. It's very Florida. That flows. Florida houses are all salmon colored, dark salmon.
It's
not pink salmon that. Not salmon like tuna, like when you get sushi. That color. They're all that color. There's a fireplace in the living room, which is very helpful in Florida. And there's a nice outdoor area and shit like that. It's not bad. Not the greatest, but not bad. $500,000 for that, though.
Holy shit.
1,536 square feet. That's rough. Then I found 6-bedroom, 3-bath, which seems like there should be a couple more T-bowls for the B-holes there.
At least one more.
4,057 square feet. Okay. It's a newer house, just kind of plain, but it has a water view, pool, hot tub, all that sort of thing. Nice deck. There's a lake out back. Yeah. It's not bad. $1 million for
Oh, my God.
$1 million chunk of Florida. Enjoy. Holy shit.
That's too much.
Things to do here. That's a lot, man. Things to do here. The Old Jail Museum.
Oh,
boy. Built in 1891, the old jail was designed to look like a fine hotel.
In 1891, fine hotel.
Yeah, it has a front porch. It's pink. It doesn't look like a jail, but inside it's like a frontier era jail, like where you'd fall asleep and you try to get the key ring off the hook while the sheriff sleeps. One of those, and the dog growls at you.
The hinge door.
Oh, well, you can only have a hinge door, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no sliders back then.
No, God, no. They said costume deputies take you through the cell blocks, maximum security area, and the sheriff's living quarters.
Wow.
Out back, the gallows are a reminder of a harsher time.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I guess so. And help explain why Old Jail is now listed on the National Register of Haunted Places. I would say they take the newest tour in our old jail, where you'll hear countless hair-raising stories of supernatural occurrences that have been reported here, including cold spots, strange odors, unexplained banging noises, wailing and laughter, barking dogs, orbs of light, and yes, even an apparition or two. So
barking
ghost
doors.
Stories. You get barking doors. You know how that goes. Those doors are the hinge doors, very barky. It's called Old Jail After Dark, St. Augustine's newest paranormal experience. Discover the grim history of St. Augustine's Old Jail After Dark with our all-new tour. Over 2 hours.
I don't know why they do this. Why creep it out? It's fucking weird enough that we held people there. Yeah, those are fucking weird. I love looking at them. I don't need to think that there's I don't need to think there's ghosts here.
No, you understand there probably is, and move on. Our 2-hour, 30-minute chilling experience allows visitors to participate in an actual paranormal investigation of the city's most haunted building. Put your ghost hunting skills to the test in this brand new intimate experience and prepare yourself for a spine-tingling night you'll never forget.
Stop it.
Wow. Then there's the Old City Pirate Fest.
Oh, here we go.
They love the pirates here. Everyone is invited to become a pirate for a weekend at the old. Really? Do you really want that? I don't think you really want that. I don't think you really want people to just be running all over, pillaging and raping whatever they can get their hands on.
People that fantasize about pirate stuff oftentimes gloss over or just forget entirely. There's a lot of rape involved.
There's a lot of that. Not to mention, what do you have to do? Not have any vitamin C for like 3 months working up to it? You got to have scurvy to be able to work with this. So it says, do you long for the days when pirates roam the streets of St. Augustine?
Not
no.
really.
Fuck no. That's hard. That would be a terrifying place to be. Terrifying. No trinket shops at all. Terrifying. Would you like to walk the streets of the city where famous pirates once raided their fortunes? No. Famous pirates such as Andrew Ranson, Nicholas Grammont, Robert Searle, and Sir Francis Drake join the St. Augustine Swashbucklers as we host the second annual Oldest City Pirate Fest in the historical Colonial Quarter downtown St. Augustine. Oh, my God. There's
Unbelievable.
All sorts of shit here. Tuatha Dea takes the stage of the one night at 7:00, hailing from the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. The clan has been described with a C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, meaning family, more like a Scottish deal, because if you listen here, has been described as pure energy, organically blending their Celtic, Native American, and tribal roots into a gypsy rock vibe that transcends category and genre. I would say so. That sounds like a crazy mix of music that I don't know what genre to put that in, so that's true.
I wish they would do it dressed as the Klan, and it would make it so much funnier.
It would make it way scarier. Yeah. Pirates and Klansmen, that's what's loose on the street. Jesus Christ. Then Saturday night, Tom Mason and the Blue Buccaneers return. They're back by pirate demand to the Old City Pirate Fest. Their songs transport you to the wildest pub in Port Royal at the turn of the 17th century. Their CD, mind you.
Yeah.
The Blue Buccaneer songs, inspired by the golden age of pirates, is a rowdy and evocative work that transcends any aspect of novelty that one might expect at first glance. Tom's theatricality and musicianship make for an explosive mix. His songs conjure up life on the seas in an era when the only hope for destitute sailors was to, quote, go on the account to become pirates.
We've all heard Blow the Man Down. We're good.
Wow, that's what it's just over and over again.
That's my least favorite revelation about my dad since I met him is he was living in Jacksonville, Florida, living that lifestyle. How fucking embarrassing.
Perfect. Jesus Christ. So there you go. That's what's to do. Crime rate in this town, property crime in this town is all about a little over double the national average. So.
Really?
Yeah, it is a pirate kind of a place here. There's a lot of it going on. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, very piratical, is almost just about double the national average as well. So pirates roam free.
This what happens when you embrace the pirate lifestyle.
Yeah, I think so. I think that fest spills over, man. It's bad. They need to reopen the old city jail, I think, because it's pirate time.
You're encouraging murder, rape, robbery, and assault, you sons of bitches.
That's all it is. So speaking of that, let's talk about some murder.
Okay.
Usually sometimes let's talk about a murder, a couple murders. Here, let's talk about many murders, possibly even more than we know about. So, oh boy, this is bad. First of all, I have to give credit where credit's due. A lot of information came from a book called Deadly Lust, A Serial Killer Strikes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds juicy, and it's no, it's pretty gross. We'll get into this here. Let's go back in time a little bit here. December 29th, 1996.
Okay.
I mean, the tree is still up. You know what I mean? It's It's not even New Year's. Getting ready for New Year's, and 96. There's a young lady named Lucy Raymer here. She's 32 years old. Yeah. This is in Asheville, North Carolina. Is where we start our story here. Place. Yes, it's not bad. So she was Lucy Raymer, not doing too well on December 29th, 1996. Her body was found in a ditch off Chuns Cove Road the day after Christmas. So it was found on the 26th of December. They get the autopsy back by now, and an autopsy shows that she died after suffering a pretty massive skull fracture.
Jesus.
Yeah, not great at all. There was a cop here, a guy named Jack Shelton. Oh, wait, he's not the cop. I'm sorry. A man named Jack Shelton. He leaves his home, goes out for a walk with his dog Bowser.
Hell yeah.
I love when there's a dog involved in our stories. The weather, it was cold out. Bowser is a terrier, and they go to the same place all the time. Dogs always stop. You have a dog, they sniff the same fucking thing every time. You're like, will you stop? Yes, a deer shit there 3 months ago. Yes, that happened. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good Christ. So sniffing all this type of shit. They walk toward a road that dead ends, which is their normal deal. And, it's picturesque. There's a stream nearby.
Yeah.
They're in kind of a rural area. It's beautiful.
This is Asheville. It's gorgeous.
This is Asheville. Yeah, it's beautiful. He's walking his dog. This is a nice morning. You know what I mean? He's probably got coffee brewing. He's going to have a cup when he gets back, I think.
He might have one of those little thermoses, the walk-in thermos. You know what I mean?
That's possible.
A little sip cup.
That's possible. There was less of those in 96, though. In 96, you'd wait till you got home.
Yeah. Starbucks made us make our own or buy our permanent ones so we're not littering all the time or filling up the landfill with just coffee cups. But
everybody's got these things in their hands now.
Yeah, back then it was the fucking giant one with the cup on top that was
it's a thermos. Yeah, it's a thermos. So you took that to work or something. Yeah. But if you're going out for a walk, you go, get the coffee started. I'll be back in 15.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm not going to carry around the tar water cup.
No, that's going to be too much. Just the pot with him, swirling it.
There's the coffee logo on the side.
Just, popping, plink, tops the top up. So, he's, the dog is approaching, the dog's pulling him. Bowser's pulling at him at something near a concrete culvert. And he's like, Jesus Christ, trying to pull the dog away. You know, you snap the leash a little. Come on, buddy, come on. Yeah. But then this man sees what he thought were tennis shoes. He's like, that's interesting. See some sneakers and then some jeans that seem to have legs in them. And sneakers happen to have feet in them. So, this doesn't look okay. He thinks at first maybe it's a kid trying to crawl up the culvert or some kid's playing there. So he's like, maybe that's it. He thought it was some kid. He pulled the dog away. That's it. But then he was like, let me make sure this is a kid trying to, but maybe the kid needs help. You know what I mean? Who knows? So
who knows? Maybe it's a guy that's asleep.
We don't know. Yeah, who the hell knows what happened? It could be a guy who's trying to get up there, fell down. So he gets a little bit closer, and then he ends up seeing face down in the stream a fully clothed woman who's clearly not alive.
No.
If you're face down in a stream, that's a bad sign. First of all, of
most people
life.
Don't sleep like that.
No, not at all. She has dark wavy hair, a jean jacket, and she's in the stream. Okay. So he runs home, calls the police, obviously. This guy does. His day is fucked now. I mean, this is...
That's the worst. Yeah, I can't go anywhere now. Yeah.
Just me and Bowser, going out for a nice serene walk, going to have a cup of coffee when I get home and all this. And now, now there's a dead woman and... there's cops and it's a crime scene and everything like that. So, they end up, the investigators come in. They find exactly what he said. There's a big crowd of neighbors gathered and, there's a duck pond nearby and all the ducks have scattered. There's so much activity happening and all this type of shit. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
They said the woman has been dead for some hours, but not days, basically. It's pretty fresh. She's pretty fresh there. This scene is pretty fresh is what I'm getting at. So they think it might have happened like on Christmas the day before is the way it looks. So the road-wise, they cordon off all the shit like that, and they question this guy just to make sure he didn't see anything else. They don't really suspect him. He doesn't seem like a guy who did this, but they examine everything, photograph everything, remove her. The wound marks on the woman's face, now they see that she's got wounds all over her face. She's clearly been beaten. So now they're like, okay, what's going on here? This doesn't look like natural. Doesn't look like she had a heart attack and fell in the stream or something here. So there's a problem here. So they determined that she had been killed late on Christmas night or early morning hours of the 26th there. So very, very fresh. They find an uncashed Wendy's payroll check in her pocket.
Oh, that's a good clue.
From Wendy's, with her name on it. Mm-hmm. The name Lucy Arnett Raymer. So that's her. So they identify her then. Now on Sunday, December 29th, where we start here at 10:30 a.m., so this is probably 3 to 4 days after the death here, a call comes into the sheriff's office from a taxi driver up here in Asheville. Now, this guy's name is John Pearson. He tells this detective that he read about this woman got killed in the stream, and he read about it in the paper, and he wants to talk about it. It's interesting.
Well, he won't talk, sir.
Sure. He said, well, come on down to the station. So this Pearson, the cab driver, explains that he recognized this Lucy Raymer's photo in the newspaper because he's had her as a passenger in the cab several times.
Oh, so, okay. That makes sense.
So he knows who she is. And he said, matter of fact, reading it, they think that she was killed on Christmas night. Well, on that night, I drove her to a small trailer in the Taps RV and Mobile Home Park on Tunnel Road in the town of Otine.
Unbelievable.
So, if you're looking, that might be a good place for you to start, basically. Yeah. So, that's a great clue to have. You're trying to track down what somebody's last movements are. If you get somebody that said, I drove her to this address, now you have a physical address to examine. Wasn't
it great when newspapers existed?
Yeah. No, now it would fall in. It would fall under every crack. Nobody would know.
The cab driver would never see that she's missing or dead.
No. But this one, somebody probably left the paper on the seat of the cab. He opens it up. Fuck, I know her. Or anything. You go to this, even when you go in a convenience store, sitting on the shelf there, you look over. If you see someone you know on the front page, you go, who the hell, what happened to her? I drove her. Shit. So on the way to this trailer at the Taps RV Mobile Home Park, Lucy told him that she and her husband weren't living together at this point, and that she was staying at the trailer park with another man, a man named William Darrell Lindsay. Mm-hmm. So she was talking to him. I don't know. She gets pretty deep with the cab driver. This is like Taxi Cab Confessions, mountain style. We've taken it out of Manhattan and taken it to the more rural areas of the country to get their stories. And that's what she's getting here.
I'm living with Billy D. Lindsay.
Billy D. Lindsay and me are living at the trailer here.
Okay.
So Lucy asked the cab driver Pearson to wait outside while she went inside to get cab fare for him. I don't have it on me, but I'll run in and get it.
Yeah.
So she does. She comes back with the cab fare and even gives him a kiss on the cheek and wishes, and they wish each other a Merry Christmas.
There is so much in this that is fucking unbelievable already.
It's so weird. This is the friendliest, cab driver. Have you ever been in a cab?
I would never kiss a cab driver in my fucking life.
And if you did, they'd probably stab you in the throat. That's the point. I've never been in a cab where the guy's like, "Hey, buddy, thanks for the cab fare. Why don't you come over here and give Uncle Henry a peck on the cheek, will you? Come on. Come over here. I know there's a lot of stubble, but come on, it's going to be worth it. I put Old Spice on this morning. Give it to me."
That makes sense. And if that is still true, then that's a weird thing to happen. That makes sense why he would recognize her face. If that's that one that kissed me. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Yeah, and
it makes it memorable.
I guess how many times he must have driven her?
So many times,
a bunch of times for this to happen. So anyway, they wish each other Merry Christmas. Now, they take down all of his information at the police station, and this guy takes the police to the RV park, and they take him there in the police car, and he points out that that's the travel trailer. It's parked right near the entrance and by the park office, and he said, "That's where I dropped Lucy off the previous night," and that's it. They leave him in the park police car, and they go up to the trailer, which I don't know if that's procedure. We're going to keep you along with this just in case. That's weird.
We're not going to. We'll drop you off and come back, or maybe this is just. You know what? They're investigating a murder. There's so much urgency here.
I guess, yeah. You'd think they would maybe take two cars and take them back. I don't know. It's just a strange thing to do because you don't know this person could be dangerous. They could. You got a witness in the car. What if you don't want to have the witness and the suspect cross paths? Probably that's not great. And it's not like he's there to identify anyone because he already identified Lucy and she's dead. That's the only person
he gave the information he knows.
So it's what doesn't make a lot of sense anyway. So anyway, they go up and as they get there, a man emerges from the door.
Yeah, Billy D.
We'll find out. He's a middle-aged looking guy. He's staring at them like, what the hell do you want from me? What are you here for? And they said his clothing was rumpled and his hair's uncombed and unkempt, and
somebody that lives in a trailer park.
Someone who lives in not a trailer park, in a travel trailer by the front of a trailer park. He's living in like an auxiliary trailer park. This isn't set up with lattice around it and maybe a little landscaping.
He's living like the maintenance man of a trailer park.
He gave the office guy an extra $50 in cash on the side if he could just park here for a while. That's what it seems like happened here. I'll give you $50 if you just let me park. Say it broke down or something. I don't know.
Are you going to answer the door, rumpled clothes and messy hair? You're damn right I will.
That's right, I am. All right, fine. You have to. That's part of the deal. Part of your lease is you must answer the door looking like a murderer. It's the only thing that's there. They're going to want to search your house for bodies when they see you. Okay? All right, good.
You got to play the role, man. Are you in it or not?
Listen, we all have things. One of the ladies down there in her trailer, she's the crazy cat lady. She wears nothing but house dresses, and she has 20 cats. She's allergic to cats. She hates cats, but it was part of the deal. That guy down there, he's the guy who throws shit at kids if they come near his trailer. Get the hell out of here, you sons of bitches. And he takes all their footballs. That's that guy.
There's another guy down there, always leaned over the front of his truck with his ass crack out. We don't know if he's working on that truck, but he's there.
It's never started once. The truck has never turned over. We've never heard it start. And, of course, that's the house where they have 17 children in a one-bedroom trailer. We don't know how it works, but it was hard to find them. But I found them. Signed them right up.
It's not on us. It's their problem.
It's their problem. So they ask him, "Can you identify yourself, sir?" To which he'd be like, "You're at my house, motherfucker. Yeah. I don't know. You tell me first." They probably did. I'm sure they said, "Hi, we're the police." "Hi, we're the police." Police here. He said, "I'm William Lindsay."
Yeah.
So that's great. They said, "Well, we'd like to talk to you about a young lady named Lucy Raymer." And they said he seemed unbothered by it totally. He said, "Sure, I don't know, whatever you need, I guess," and accompanied them back to the station. I hope in a separate car. I hope he didn't pile in the back seat with the witness. How you doing? Pretty good. "What are you doing here?" "I'm a murder suspect." "Oh, I'm a murder witness. Nice to meet you." "Great."
Wonder for the same case. Do you know Lucy? I do.
Oh no.
I pointed him to your house. Well, you're a dick.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So Upon entering oh my God, they did too. I forgot about this. Upon entering the police car, Lindsay didn't recognize Pearson, who's in the passenger seat. Why would you put the suspect in with the fucking witness? This is what we're talking about. When we say we're going to make fun of, we say at the top, we'll make fun of a murder. We'll make fun of small town bumbling police forces. When a police force says, we got a witness, let's just put him in the same car as the suspect, uncuffed, and we'll just drive to the fucking station like that and hope it doesn't come up. That's not good police work. It's bad procedure. It's bad.
It's endangering a witness for sure.
That's either laziness of, it'll be fine, or they don't have another cop to drive him back. They only have, we only have one car. You took it. What the fuck you want from following your wife's car, Bob? You drove your wife's car. Didn't you drive your wife's Lumina in today? We'll follow behind us. Yeah. What's going on? So anyway, he didn't recognize him, but by the time they arrived at the station, Lindsay sees Pearson's cab in the parking lot and realizes who he is.
Yeah.
This is terrible. At this point, he said that Lindsay becomes noticeably different. His face goes ashen. I mean, they blew the surprise of the whole thing of getting him in the interrogation room and then talking about it. Now they kind of blew it. So they Mirandize him once they get in there, obviously. I hope anyway. During 2 hours of interrogation, it's by a Sergeant Harrison, he, after a little while, it doesn't take very long. I mean, 2 hours is not very long to crack somebody on a murder charge. He says, all right, fine, I killed Lucy and dumped her body. Gave it right up. Boom.
Billy D.
No problem. Yeah, I did it. So what? He said, but it was an accident.
Oh.
That's the thing. The killing part, total accident. But I did dump her on purpose because obviously what am I going to do with a corpse? So,
I mean, 98% of murder is an accident, so that makes sense.
It's totally an accident, obviously. So according to his account, he said he arrived at his trailer between 5 and 5:30 p.m. And she arrived there and the cab. Lucy did. And she asked him for money to pay the cab fare, which all lines up. She ran inside, came out. He reported that he gave her $11 for the fare and $4 for the tip, $15 total. Okay. It was a 10 and a 5. So after the taxi left, he said Lucy asked Lindsay to take her to buy some dope, some heroin. So that's what she was after. He said he took her to a housing project near Mission Memorial Hospital and gave her $100 for Christmas.
Wow,
that's nice. Thanks, Uncle Bill. Thanks, Uncle Billy D. And another $100 to have sex with him.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then a Christmas bonus, I guess.
Here's your Christmas bonus, and here's your paycheck.
That's what she said. That's basically what he said here. And he said in the interrogation, he said she spent the entire amount on crack cocaine. Wow. Walked in, came out with like a Santa Claus bundle, like a big red bag over her shoulder full of crack cocaine. So after their return to his trailer, he says they sat and talked for a few minutes and then went into the bedroom and had sex, obviously, because he said he paid her. And then afterwards, Lucy smoked some crack. He said, and then he said that he went to bed about 9:30 and she came into the bedroom between 10 and 11 p.m. What does he have, like a Pretty Woman situation going on here? This is like she stays over? What is happening? They both went to sleep, but he said he awakened around 2 a.m., rolled over and put his arm around her, and he said, quote, she was very cold and I could not hear her breathing. He said, I thought she was dead and I got scared. Well, yeah, that's dead person in your bed's not great. After putting her, so then he said, he said her injuries were because, quote, why does she have marks all over her face? When I picked her up to take her to my van, I dropped her.
Jesus.
That's why, just, how that is. So then he put her into his Ford Bronco instead and drove her to the end of Chuns Cove Road. He said, quote, the first road I could find. He said he reached the dead end, turned back and dropped her body near a duck pond, just like where they found her. So, yeah, he says that. So they get a search warrant for his trailer. And among the evidence they find there is a crudely drawn map showing where he left her body. He drew a fucking map to it, dude.
Wow.
What does that tell you? What's that tell you?
Without the cops asking for it?
It was in his house when they searched it.
He just drew it to keep it. That means in case I got to go back and remember this. Yeah.
It's a murder scrapbook, I'm sure. He has like a lock of hair. He's a fucking dirtbag. So what does that tell you if he drew a map that needs to remember where the body is?
Yeah, he either needs to go revisit it or just remember in general. But either way, that means there's going to be more, because that's how do you forget that unless there's a whole bunch? You know what I mean?
I would say, well, that tells me that, that's something that Ted Bundy would do, because he's going to go back and do terrible things to that corpse. That's the way it sounds to me. Or, maybe it's just for memories. So the detective here, Detective Harrison, he shows Lindsay explicit photographs of her autopsy.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is, just to see what he does.
Just to see his response.
To see his reaction.
Fucked up, man.
Well, they do shit like that a lot. They'll put the murder weapon, sometimes they'll just have it on the table when you walk in, and just to see if you'll look at it and stare at it. And what your body language will portray about your connection to that weapon and shit like that. That's very common.
Man has to guess what that is.
Yeah, they'd be like, "What's up with that?" Or they just kind of look at it and be like, curiosity, but then concentrate. But no, people who have killed with that weapon, they're like, "Oh fuck, they have it. Oh shit."
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you can see the difference. So they said he shows no emotion or repulse or anything when they show him graphic autopsy pictures.
Like he's Dr. Bodden or some shit. Like he's seen this every day. Good Lord.
No. That's a bad sign, by the way. That's a bad sign.
Today, there's so many people will be like, "Oh, how cool!"
Yeah, absolutely. They should have asked him beforehand, "Are you like a true crime aficionado?" And if he said no, then you show him the photos. Otherwise,
so many people would be like, "Oh, wow."
We have listeners who are like 40-year-old ladies who cross stitch who would be like, "Ooh, do you have more? I'd like to see the head if you have the head. Do you have the head? A picture of the head would be good. I heard it was very gross. That's.
I'm told it was a .38 caliber. Can I see?
That exit wound looks like a 40 to me, but okay. I mean, whatever, I guess, if you want to be technical about it. But back then, you would expect that to shock somebody.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Yeah.
Not normal. That's
the first time I saw Autopsy on HBO. I threw up. It was crazy.
I can't watch that shit. I cannot watch it.
Crazy. Dr. Bodden is the most fascinating man on the planet. But his job is so gross.
It's the grossest. That was on for 7,000 episodes. I watched 6 minutes of it. It was so repulsed. I never did it. And I look at what we do. You know what I mean? But it's too much for me. I don't like that graphic shit.
I threw up. I was like, what? Why? They're showing this.
But this is almost like a cold-blooded or like a psychopath test that they're giving him quickly to see if he's repulsed. Kind of like the yawn thing. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
If you yawn all the time and someone doesn't yawn back, that's not a good sign.
That's a crazy person.
That's a person to be afraid of because they don't connect. That's a psychopath trait. I'm sure it's
completely disconnected from you.
Other things, but they're completely disconnected from any sort of human vibe, basically. So. Anyway, they also show him, there's also evidence collected at the crime scene, blood samples and all this sort of shit. And based on all of that, they said they felt there was ample reason to hold him for further investigation. So they're going to hang on to him for now. So 12 days after the murder...
Hang on to him now. He just admitted to murdering. We should.
He admitted to ditching the body, but he didn't admit to murder, and they don't really have proof because they need the I think the autopsy was still coming back here and all this type of shit. So I think they need a little bit more because her skull could have been crushed. They need to further examine if he dropped her on her fucking head on the way in the driveway or something like that. But so they're thinking about it this way. And they have him on the disposal of a body and desecration of a body anyway, but they're going to hang on to him for the murder and look into him a little bit more here. So 12 days after the murder, so it's January 6th at 11:25 p.m., he is incarcerated in the Buncombe County Detention Center, and he asked to talk to the sheriff. Okay. I'd like to talk to Bobby Medford, please. And at that time, he changed his statement. He goes, okay, I got to tell you something. Lucy stole $200 from me. I didn't give her $200. She stole it from me, and she wouldn't give it back, even though I asked her. I found out that she did it, and I asked her for it several times. He says when she refused that he got angry and punched her in the face.
Okay.
And he says, quote, I didn't think I hit her that hard. I didn't mean to hurt her that bad. You know, kill her. That's hurt her pretty fucking bad.
He's saying he Bruce Lee 1-inched her and she's dead?
Dead. One shot.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like a Shaolin he's a Shaolin master. Just one pow, done.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's not a good story, really.
No.
And there's multiple injuries, too. So he's like, well, one's a punch, one's getting dropped. You know how it is. Not great. So this newspaper clipping that the taxi driver saw and that, you know, got him in the position he's in to begin with, in January 97, that newspaper clipping ended up being enclosed in a Christmas card that was sent to the St. Johns County Cold Homicide Case Task Force here, okay? They sent it to one of the detectives down there, and it was basically they were showing him this clip from North Carolina, and this detective in St. Johns County in Florida said, I dispatched detectives because the facts in the case in North Carolina were similar to facts in some of our cases. They go, let's go talk to this guy.
Oh, boy.
So then he says, quote, we've been able to connect Mr. Lindsay with each of these women and have determined he may be responsible for their murders.
Dear Christ.
Yeah, they're interested in talking to him because his name keeps popping up in all of these stories of somewhere and something. It's there. Whose name keeps popping up? Of course, William Darrell Lindsay, but he's known as Redbird.
What?
What is it with the birds on this show? What is it with the birds, everybody? I don't understand it. We can't pocket robins, murder meth falcons, murder parrots. These fucking birds are coming from everywhere, and now we have Redbird, the serial killing asshole.
His name. Why do they call him that? Do we have an explanation of why?
His hair's not even red. It's brown. I don't know. He's just Redbird. Why? Because he's on this show, so he's got to be named after a bird of some kind. Redbird.
Unbelievable.
Or alternately. And this is out of his mouth, too. What do you go by? Well, Redbird. People call me Redbird. Either that or Crazy Bill. Great. Perfect. Well, Crazy Bill, let's sit down.
Crazy Bill woke up next to a corpse? That's what we're supposed to believe? Don't believe you, Bill.
Hey, Redbird. Redbird. Crazy Bill. Woke up next to a corpse? I'm not surprised.
Not a good story, Redbird.
I don't know about that, Redbird. I don't know about that already.
Holy shit.
Crazy Bill. That's almost as good as Satanic Bill, my guy. So, Redbird Crazy Bill over here. And he then tells the cops this, okay? This is what he tells them when they start talking to him about possible other murders. Quote, oh, my God. You've got to understand that there's a good Bill and a bad Bill. Oh. Good Bill is a decent person. Bad Bill is a person society needs to be afraid of.
Oh, boy.
That's chilling, I would imagine, if you're like, maybe we can clear some murders. And he's like, well, let me tell you about Good Bill and Bad Bill and Redbird and also Crazy Bill. I'd be like, oh, no, this is going in a direction I don't want it to go. So
How many serial killers have said that too? By the way,
yeah,
there's a bad this and a good this.
I'm I'm nice, John Wayne Gacy, when I'm entertaining the kids, but then bad John Wayne Gacy just shows you the rope trick. It's not good. Wow. So yeah, the name kept popping up. They said that in all of these cases that they were investigating for over a 10-year period in Florida, the name Redbird kept popping up. Well, then she went over here. Redbird was around. There's always Redbirds around. Yeah. It's like, who is this Redbird and where the fuck is he? Why is he always around? What's going on here? So the name appeared in several reports given by people on the street when prostitutes disappeared.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, fellow workers and also, just people hanging around the street. Yeah, we saw Redbird coming around here. So that came up in several cases. However, he seemed to kind of, when they went through everything, he just seemed to be one of the guys who hangs out at quote-unquote Crackhead Corner. Redbird hangs out at Crackhead Corner, of course.
Of course he does.
With Crazy Bill and Satanic Bill. So, anyway.
Crackhead Corner.
They ended up just basically being like, well, he's one of the Crackhead Corner guys who hangs out there, and there's a lot of people who come up in the reports that hang out at Crackhead Corner, so I guess he's just a crackhead moving on,
On the corner.
that's it. Not a viable suspect. Just one of the regulars down there. He was known to frequent the fast food restaurant where many of these ladies picked up their dates in the area, and was frequently seen driving in this area frequented by drug dealers, prostitutes, street hustlers of all kinds, basically. So Crackhead Corner is what it is. Jesus Christ. Need we say more?
Not much.
Well, everyone out there, what do you think is on Crackhead Corner?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Explain Crackhead Corner. Is that where the new preschool is? I've heard excellent things about a really authentic Mexican place moving into there. Is it good?
5-star Montessori school is there.
It's the best in town. It's wonderful. No, it's Crackhead Corner. We know what happens.
I heard they're selling a lot of vinyl out of that place too. New, the up and coming trends. Most start there. That's
it's all there. It's all there, Jimmy.
It's very much like Brooklyn. That's what it is.
It's Williamsburg Part 2. It's really there's Williamsburg and there's Crackhead Corner. They both are the hip places to be. Yeah. So after they bring him down here, they speak to him about the 5 slayings. He tells them Bad Bill is something society needs to work out and watch out for. And then he said, yes, I killed all those women. Yeah, sure.
Oh, boy.
I did it. Gives them details that we're going to get into in a moment here. The detective who was interviewing him said, quote, he did express to me that he was very remorseful and that after he was caught, he wanted to let the families know his remorse and also to clear all the cases he was involved in. He indicated to me that he had something wrong with him that caused him to do these things from time to time.
Time to time, that's a lot.
Time to time. That's, like a serial killer from time to time. He has cool down periods and then he kills again. Things like that.
What are things you do from time to time? Mine are eat at Wendy's. If I killed a woman every time I ate at Wendy's.
Imagine that.
That's a lot of women.
You would have killed a woman on the way from Pittsburgh to Columbus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been, actually, what you ate would have counted for 2, I think, because that was quite the burger. While you're driving like a monster.
I love a double.
Mayonnaise dripping out of things. It's like, what is wrong with you? You're like, you getting anything? I don't want anything now.
You want nothing, really?
It's good
delicious, I swear to God.
Although
I'm going to push this thing down my throat. Look how great it is.
Oh, man. Which I do love a double, but that mayonnaise made me horrified. So now they've said a lot of these women they're going to be searching for in area ponds and these little borrow pits. You know what a borrow pit is? No. A borrow pit is apparently, I didn't realize it was exactly how it sounded. It's where they take dirt and borrow it to bring it somewhere else. Not really borrowing it because they're not going to bring any back, but they dig a big pit because they need dirt somewhere, and now there's just a big pit.
They just steal fill?
Yeah, they just take fill, and it's a borrow pit. It's just, there it is. There's big holes.
That's making
someone needed dirt.
That's making holes.
And there's so many of these in the story.
Really?
This guy knew where every borrow pit in the world was. It's crazy.
That's so weird.
The detective here says this about the whole, when he's going to describe to the press what's going on. He says, quote, we look at these women as having alternate lifestyles. Most of them were drug involved. Our main key is that they were alive human beings at one point, and now they are dead at the hands of a very serious murderer. Up until recently, we weren't sure if we had one killer or more than one killer. So, yeah, that's the other thing. All of these, and we'll talk about some of these ladies because they all have backstories. They're all people with families and lives and, shit like that. So, he picks them up off Crackhead Corner like they're just, cockroaches that he's like, I'm going to smash that one and smash that one. But it's pretty gross, honestly. So to talk about him, let's get into old William Darrell Lindsay. He's born August 18th, 1935.
Wow.
Yeah, 1935. He was actually born in Armstrong. He was actually born with the last name of Armstrong. But when he's 5 months old, his parents are driving, or he's born in March 1935. I'm sorry. August is when this happened. August of 1935. He and his parents are driving in the car, in a 1935 car, so a big boat. No car seat or safety features.
Big boat. This is a fucking tea bucket. This is a tiny
big metal
piece of shit.
The 30s, those were big old fucking steel boxes by then. That's
big. Like the 40s, isn't it? Like the 30s is still like tea buckets, right?
No, they had those like Duesenbergs and shit were out in the 20s.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Once they were driving on roads and cities, they had
shit like that. Yeah,
they had to put some metal on it for when they bashed into each other.
Yeah.
So they're driving, parents in the front seat, infant son in the back seat. We don't know why, but their car careened off the road and crashed.
Oh.
A police deputy cruising the highway near the town of Palatka, Florida, noticed this fucking twisted vehicle on the side of the road and pulled up, walked over, and this windshield's all smashed. It's a small sedan. He saw two, what he described as badly mangled bodies in there.
Oh, no.
Badly mangled bodies, a man and a woman. Neither one was moving. He forced the door open with some kind of tool and checked for vital signs, and he said he knew they were dead before he even checked for vital signs. It was pretty obvious. Both of them. So he returned to the patrol car to report the accident to headquarters, get some other people out of here to help haul these bodies to the morgue and get this wreck off the side of the road. And right as he was doing that, he heard an infant cry.
No fucking way.
Yep, he heard the infant cry, ran back to the vehicle like, holy shit, found the baby 5 months old on the floor wedged between the front seat and the back seat that had been smashed and pushed together. He just has some light scratches and a couple of bruises, but no evidence of any serious injury whatsoever.
Unreal.
Parents mangled. He's fine.
Tossed like a Coke can between the seats and munched around him. Wow.
And was totally fine. Hopefully maybe some fast food wrappers, cushioned his blow. I don't know. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on your, fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
So... Now, very recently, by the way, around this strange time in St. Augustine, another couple, Cecil and Olene Lindsay, had been, their infant son just died.
Oh, perfect.
Like the week before.
I mean, not...
Oh, great. Oh, is that you think they told her down at the town? Oh, your son died? Oh, perfect.
Boy, do I have news for you. That crib will not go to waste.
Hold on. Don't throw it out yet.
Baby shoes never worn? I got someone for you.
Got you covered. So he said they heard that they knew the Armstrongs, heard that the baby was an orphan now, so they applied to adopt him, and it was approved, and he came in, and they made him their son. They named him William Darrell Lindsay and called him Billy. Wow. Billy D. Lindsay. That's Billy. How it is. Little Billy D. The family lived in St. Augustine on Sylvan Drive, and it was a modest homes, decent, nice place, though. It's in the 30s. I mean, we're talking pre-World War II here. So they had 3 other children, James, Sue, and Alice here. So, or James, Sue, Alice, and Verna were their kids.
Sue Alice is one person.
Sue Alice.
Yeah.
Sue Alice. Yeah, Sue Alice. So, his father was a well-liked guy. He was an appliance salesman and drove a laundry truck. But his most treasured thing that he did, his father, was he played the role of Ponce de Leon at St. Augustine's Fountain of Youth.
There's his passion project.
Yep, he's like a Renaissance fair actor. That's what he does.
He lives the pirate lifestyle.
Yeah, well, Ponce de Leon here. Yeah, he would be fully costumed in the military regalia and tell tales about the explorer and blah 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 and all that type of shit there. So he would do all of that, and everybody liked his dad. Seemed like a likable guy. His mother, not a little bit different here. From what I understand, the house was run pretty strict, and that included frequent beatings and extreme, being restricted to your room, being put in closets and that sort of thing. Not very good. Yeah, they were during preschool and elementary school. They were only allowed to play in their own yard. Even though they lived in like a small town, very nice little neighborhood that was very safe, and all the other kids were allowed to play outside. They could only play within the confines of their own yard, which is normal now, but in the 30s that was considered wacky time, Yeah. What are we talking about?
Is that normal now?
In elementary school?
I suppose.
To be don't run down the street? Where the fuck do you live? You kidding me?
I don't know. My grandma's house, we had 12, 13 kids on the same street. We'd all wander down to somebody else's street.
We did. Now I'm talking. Did you let your daughter wander down the street when she was 7?
God,
no. I used to go down the street and just knock on some old lady's door because she'd give me candy. Literally. I had no idea. I was 4. They'd look for me. I was fucking gone. I'd just take off. Nobody cared.
There was 2 old men on the street that I would walk down to go home from school. I would stop at one and watch the Cubs and eat cookies and drink chocolate milk. I'd walk to the next one, watch the White Sox, and have more chocolate milk.
Jesus Christ.
Jenny, on my way home from school.
I'm going to say this.
Surprising I got diddled so late.
I was going to say, I love you, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but you're lucky you were molested as little as you were, honestly, because you were really, you were setting the table for, being the fucking, getting passed around this town by all the perverts.
That was a real cock tease.
Every pervert in Phoenix was I gave him ice cream. Jesus Christ.
He ain't put out yet.
At least I talked to an old lady. She wasn't going to diddle me. She just gave me butterscotch candies.
They were the nicest old men.
Sometimes they're just lonely old people.
Yeah. That's what it was. The one guy was from Chicago. The other one was from Indiana. And
one was from Illinois.
One was from Chicago. One's from Illinois. So.
That is.
It goes. Just the widowers, I guess, and just the sweetest men. They loved baseball, and I loved baseball, so we talked baseball. Hey, I don't know. It was kind of like The Sandlot, only without the adventure before. It was just, hey, kid, want to watch baseball? I was like, fuck yeah.
Without all the friends.
Yeah.
Like The Sandlot. Except just me and the old man. There's no friends that we like.
This is more The Sad Lot.
Yeah, this is a sad lot. His dog died. It didn't steal your ball. It just died, so he's super lonely. So now you're hanging out with him, eating fucking cookies and watching the Cubs lose. Oh, it's so sad. What a sad state of affairs.
I was really tempting fate. I deserved it, I guess.
I've never said this to any victim, but Jimmy, I think you were asking for it. I'm not going to lie.
Should have seen what I was wearing.
Yeah. Oh, man. Terrible shit. No, that is just terrible. You don't know any better when you're a kid. That's why you need your parents to supervise you.
Right.
That was my problem. Yes. I was walking down the street knocking on people's. My parents should have been supervising me. This isn't I shouldn't have known better when I was 5. You shouldn't have known better when you were 5.
No.
Someone should have been watching us was the point. Or noticing when we were missing.
It was 6 doors down from the school. That guy was clearly standing on his porch going, "Hey, want to watch baseball? Smart kid. You're right. Don't come in. Hey, how about you? You want to
It's Herbert from Family Guy.
Hey, kids, you want some popsicles?
Want to watch some baseball? Oh, that one. Come on, Jasper. So, anyway, this is fucking crazy. So the other kids weren't really allowed to come over either. So it's not even like that you want your friends to play with your friends, have them come over here. So it's a little bit weird. When they reached kind of their teen years, there was a cowbell on the front porch that they'd hit to call everybody home. Like they lived like they were on a farm and dinner was ready or some shit.
Dinner bell, huh?
And if they didn't come home immediately from the cowbell, that resulted in physical punishment, which was for everything. Harsh physical punishment, even for small infractions. A couple of times, Billy was beaten so bad that his mom that he had welts all over his body and he had to stay home from school.
Yeah, but
shit
at
like
least
that.
he didn't die in the car accident.
That's a good thing. Yeah, you're still lucky. So he would get, well, I guess not. No, not when
No, it's not. It's not good at all.
His punishments would include beatings with everything from a leather strap to a frying pan.
Holy shit.
That's not good. Jesus, we're talking about kind of Richard Kuklinski type shit now. As well as she would like pull his hair and pinch him and stuff like that. But the other ones could cause head injuries with a frying pan. So the family, and she was in charge too. I mean, the mom was in charge and the dad was out pretending to be Ponce de Leon, so he didn't give a shit what was going on. And there was a lot of control in the family and things like that. And he was mad at his dad because his dad didn't stick up for him. Yeah, his dad didn't stop this from happening, which happens a lot in abuse. Yeah, right. In abuse situations, a lot of times the kid will be more mad at the parent who didn't abuse them than they are at the abusive parent.
And and it's usually the dad doing the beating, and the mom is afraid to step in because if he'll hit the fucking kids, he'll clearly hit me too.
Yes. Or you don't know what has been built up for 10 years before that, the mental whatever. So it's
right. Yeah. And I guess you got to see it from the dad's point of view. It's like, I don't know, it's a woman. How hard can she hit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably not as bad as they're making it seem. I don't know, but
who knows? She could be a big woman. We don't know what the hell. She could be a strong woman. She might not be.
She's using a fucking frying pan, James. She's
either
hard
way.
Enough.
Anybody with a if you have a toddler who comes at you with a frying pan, you're like, hey, watch out there, buddy. You're not like, come on, go on, clock me on the noggin, would you? Here, there you go. It'll make a funny sound. You're not saying that. I have my little nephew, Shay. I'm not putting frying pans in that kid's hand.
No.
He comes at me holding a dump truck up. I'm covering my nuts. I'm covering my nose.
He's reckless in a plastic Fisher-Price truck.
Oh, very, very reckless. Very. So his mother believed that people weren't very good, and basically she would punish the children to make them perfect, is in her mind what she was trying to do.
What has she been through?
She wanted to drill in religious values that she felt God wanted them to have as well, is what she said. And so beating a kid with a frying pan is obviously what God had in mind. Yeah. That's why frying pans came about.
Yeah.
God plunked the idea in someone's head and they went, a child beater made of iron with a handle, and you can cook in it.
And then they got hungry and they were like, bet we could cook with that kid beater.
Jesus Christ. So his mother would also obviously psychologically abuse the kids and that sort of thing. He's never sexually abused or anything like that. Father, like I said, mainly the thing he always did was the acting, and then he had kind of odd jobs here and there doing different kind of shit. His mother was a nurse at the local hospital, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Check her background. Who'd she work on?
Wow. Yeah, anybody die in her care? That sounds
doubt.
scary. He was about a C student in school, bullied and teased a lot, considered very quiet and meek, and also considered very slow, and was held back a few times in school as well.
That all checks out.
It all checks out. He also, there's an incident where he tortured and killed a cat in front of the other kids.
Go on.
So I don't have exact details of a 1946 cat torture, but there was other kids and he tortured a cat. I don't know if that was to show like that he was fucking crazy, not to mess with him or what.
That'll do it.
That'll do it, I guess. And he also, local boys that he wasn't a part of their group, built a hut, like a fort.
Yeah.
Like, you build a fort when you're a kid. He set it on fire. So, he's got some problems.
All right.
Okay. No homers? Okay. So out of the triad, no bedwetting. So out of the, the typical old school triad they talk about, he's got animal torture and fire starting down, but not the bedwetting. So
animal murder and arson. That's like, man, I can
torture and murder.
Yeah. I've seen people fuck with cats. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, you're right.
Why?
And then they feel like dicks. But then I've seen people like fucking kill cats, and I've never seen that person again. Yeah.
No, I would fucking not be okay with that.
Never be around that person ever again.
No, I would have not been cool with that at all. That's not okay. Don't fuck with animals. Why are you fucking with that? Don't fuck with animals or old people. Leave them alone.
Don't fuck with anybody. Leave people alone. What's a dude that picked on you? Kick his ass.
Yeah, I hope he deserves it. So he didn't graduate high school, but he kind of went all through high school, but didn't graduate at all. So just kind of was like, well, I guess I'm done now. I'm not going back for summer school. So at age 21, he ends up fucking getting an inheritance from his parents that has been held in trust till he was 21.
That's great.
So all of a sudden he gets all his money
that
his parents had to set aside in life insurance or whatever. So this is the time he found out that he was adopted.
Oh, damn it. Now? What the fuck?
They came to him and said, a lawyer called him and said, I have this inheritance for you from who from? From your parents. My parents are alive. Oh, no, they're not. Actually, they're dead. You're adopted when you were 5 months old. He had no idea about that. He confronted his natural parents, said, why the fuck didn't you tell me I'm adopted? What's up with that? And his adopted mother said, well, yeah, you're adopted. We adopted you and we knew you were getting an inheritance. And by the way, you're now going to pay back debt for living in our home.
Fuck you.
She now wants most of his inheritance as a raising fee.
As rent? Yeah,
back rent. She called it back rent, which is, and to pay his debts to them, which is very interesting.
You're going to finance my beatings? Fuck you.
That's crazy. So he was employed by the Pulling Typewriter Company for a while, and then he wasn't after a while. He keeps jobs for a short amount of time. He's fired for like incompetence or petty thievery, or he's a fuck off and they fire him. He doesn't last very long. Yep. Bad employee. He ends up moving away from Palatka, where this family was here. He starts in 1956 after he spent a little time at the typewriter company. He starts working at Hudson Pulp and Paper Corporation. Okay. Yikes. And in 1958, at the age of 23, he finds a young woman that he can't live without. Oh. He finds a woman named Willa Jean. And they are married in 1958. And their first daughter, Beverly, is born in 1959. So right away, he also ends up having a daughter named Robin, who we'll talk about later. Right after all this, he gets married. The first thing he does, because he needs some sort of stability in terms of some income and that sort of thing, he joins the National Guard at this point.
Well done.
Okay. After he joins the National Guard, he begins to drink excessively.
May as well.
Yeah. So, when he's home, not just when he's on duty and shit, like hanging out with the guys. And he also, another little characteristic he brings home with him is he beats the shit out of his wife now as well.
What the fuck?
He's now a drunk who beats the crap out of his wife, where he wasn't before.
Drunk wife beater. And did he keep the money, or did he pay his mom?
I don't think he kept it. I don't think he paid her. I think he left because he moved out of the house after that, moved away, got a job at the typewriter company.
Okay.
A couple of years later, he will begin to start using heroin intermittently as well.
What is happening?
In this. I don't know what's happening, but Willa Jean was a waitress at a restaurant in Jacksonville when they were first married, and he would get jealous and accusatory that she was fucking patrons and, all this sort of thing. Well, it's the 50s. If you make enough money, then she won't work there because it's the 50s.
Yeah.
So you should make more money or not get married till you make more money.
That's on you.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're making ends meet here. You got a young daughter. What do you want? So Bill, that's when he enlisted in the National Guard. He began staying out drinking after the Guard meetings. He'd come home drunk and beat the shit out of Willa Jean. She later said, quote, Bill would start using a lot of profanity and slapping me around. He was jealous of me, and he'd yell even if I was going out to work. When we were fighting, he'd yell, I'll kill you, I'll kill you. Oh, God. That's a bad sign, usually. Yeah. After these episodes, she would leave him for a time. She'd stay away for a few weeks, but then he would swear that he's sorry and he's not going to happen again and he feels better now and all that kind of bullshit. And so she would come back, and then he would beat the shit out of her again, and then she would leave, and then he would beg her, and then they would come back, and it was a cycle that kept happening over and over and over again, which is very common in a abusive situation like this, the leaving and the coming back. So it's a lot. And this, I don't know what his deal is, but he's got an anger toward the outside world sometimes.
Yeah.
Some people, like I said, describe him as the perfect Southern gentleman, just a nice Southern accent and a kind guy and real polite and shit like that. And then other times, complete psychopath. So now they're not able to buy a house. It's mainly renting trailers is how they live. Bill and Willa Jean, usually in Palatka or Hastings, which is nearby. They moved to Tennessee in 1970.
No kidding.
Yeah. Starting over. And he found work in a steel mill. There's no heavy drinkers there. So
Tennessee, it's all whiskey, for Christ's sake.
Jesus. The marriage continues to deteriorate, obviously, because this isn't going to get better with a change of scenery. That's not what this is about.
It was Beverly, not Tennessee. They loaded up the truck and moved to Beverly.
Moved to Beverly. Jesus Christ. He's like, oh, shit. I was looking for swimming pools and movie stars, and I just found this steel mill. God damn it.
Whiskey and wife beating. It's a little different here.
I guess I better find oil first before I go there anyway. I don't think I can afford it. So Bill claimed that she began behaving bizarrely at this point, okay? He said, quote, she called the president on the phone and tried to kill the children because they had rabies.
That is a fascinating sentence.
That's one sentence. She called the president on the phone, then tried to kill the children because they had rabies. So was she calling the president to tell him the children had rabies? What was going on exactly?
And which president? Of the United States?
Yeah, or just like of the trailer park. Like, what's going on? What are we talking about here? Of the Trailer Park Association, obviously. So, he claimed, quote, she tried to shoot me up with a shotgun and I had to tie her up. That's what he said.
Okay. You are a fast man with a lasso.
That is wild. Now, Willa Jean, on the other hand, conversely, she claimed that he was drugging her after she found containers of phenobarbital in his closet. And she would notice that she would feel tired and weird at the end of the night. And, it's a drug used for treatment of epilepsy and other shit, but
it's a tranquilizer.
It's also tranquilizer, exactly. So she would feel tired, and then that's probably why. She
hitting her with barbiturates.
This is insanity, man. So we don't know how he got that or anything, but she has no medical condition that would require it either. Yeah. So in 1974, Billy D is under a lot of stress at this point, apparently, because he writes a 7-page suicide letter addressed to Willa Jean.
That's a lot of grievances.
That is a shitload. Yeah, that's not just I'm me. That's I'm mad at other people.
Right.
So she showed it to the police, and Lindsay was involuntarily committed to a psychiatric hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kept him a shorter amount of time, but they were like, 7 pages is a lot. There's a lot to go over. So Willa Jean left during this time, took the children, and moved to Ocala, where she rented a trailer on her own. Okay. They stayed there for a little bit of time, but he's released from the hospital. And after a little bit, Bill he said, I'm feeling much better now. I'd like to have the children for a weekend. Might I have a visit? Might I take them? I'm going to take them to, I think Disney World's just opening. I'm going to go to Orlando. We're going to go down to Disney World. It's going to be fantastic.
Just an unsupervised, I'll take them for a while, give you a break.
Give me a weekend.
You just wrote seven pages of reasons you don't want to be here.
But I'm feeling much better now. That's the difference.
You got 2 days a page, sir. No.
Yeah. And I mean, if someone is depressed and has a problem and they seek treatment and everything, doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to see their kids at all. That's not what we're saying.
No,
but he's got more problems than just this. No.
Maybe I'll go to the park and you sit with me on a bench and watch them play.
That's what we'll do. Or you sit on a different bench because you're weird. So he wants to take him for the weekend. She allows it. I mean, it's their father, so she says, if he's feeling better, hopefully this is a new beginning for him with the kids. She really wants the kids and their father to be okay together.
Yeah, and she's got shit to do, so I get it.
Yeah, it's the other thing. Who knows? So he takes them out for a drive and wrecks the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, destroys the car, causing he has 5 kids with him, by the way.
Oh, my God.
He wrecks the car. 3 of the kids are hospitalized. Oh, I'm sorry. No. It's 3 kids. Sorry, okay. 3 kids. The 2 of them have concussions. 1 has a broken leg.
He wrecked hard.
Yeah. Now, Willa Jean felt that this was an attempted suicide/murder, and she was worried. She thought that he was trying to off himself and do it with the kids in the car.
Yeah, because he found out that's how his parents died.
Exactly. Maybe that's what it is. Now, during these interviews that Billy D is having with the police, since he's telling the story here, he claims to the police officers that, quote, his initial marriage had been to an ex-prostitute, though he wasn't aware of her past at the time they wed, which is not true. Willa Jean was not an ex-prostitute or anything like that. Okay. So the reason why he thinks that, though, is because he reported that he had trouble satisfying Willa Jean sexually. So she must be a prostitute.
It's got to be numb down there.
My dick sucks, so it must be. I'm not good with my dick, so it's got to be that she's a prostitute and is worn out to the whole idea of sex.
I came everywhere. How do you not come?
Oh, my God. That is ridiculous.
What do you have the sense banged out of you down there?
So... Now, he said that he went to, when he was in psychotherapy with a psychiatrist during the 60s when this problem was occurring, he went for like 6 months, and during the 6 months he was there, the psychiatrist recommended he use a dildo as a way to resolve the issue. Not kidding. So why don't you just, if your dick's not that good, get something in there. Pinch hitter. Tap a pinch hitter, son. Where's the 6th man? Bring him off the bench. What's going on?
Get a teammate.
I mean, shit. What are we talking about here? But he's got a point. If you're not happy because you're not satisfying your wife, fucking satisfy her then. Get in there and work it over.
I don't know. Jordan needed tipping.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Work until your mission is accomplished. What are we talking about? Don't just walk away and go
down on her.
I came and shrug your shoulders and go make a sandwich. That's not how you do it. If this is bothering you, then that's how you do it.
This is hilarious.
According to Willa Jean, this did not work at all. She was still not okay. He's not even good with a dildo, this guy. He's bad sexually, not good at sex. So he said the next thing he told the cops after the whole prostitute dildo conundrum, he says that
the suggestion of getting some fresh legs in here.
He said that he and Willa Jean were in a swingers group comprised of couples who exchanged partners. Well, that's swinging, yes.
Yeah. They were in a swingers group. Here's the definition. We're aware.
We know what that is. So, yeah, he was into that, and that's what he said. We don't know if that's true or not, though. So, yeah, this is fucking getting crazy. So, in 1974, of somebody, I can't find out who, he's arrested for aggravated assault of somebody. I don't know. I don't think it was Willa Jean, as a matter of fact, at all.
Aggravated, though.
Aggravated assault in 74. 1975, Willa Jean and Billy D get divorced. Okay. Now, this is good. Take these kids, go somewhere else, right? Mm-hmm. No. He gets custody of all 5 children. There's 5. Are you ready to give him 5 children and say you can keep them alive till they're 20, right? 21,
aggravated
18?
Assault a year ago.
A year ago, 7-page suicide letter was also a year ago. Psychiatric hospital also a year ago.
Can't make a woman come.
No, all the time. That's not a year ago. That's a persistent problem.
That's still here.
Now, but you know how he got custody of the children?
How?
He convinced the court that Wilma Jean suffered from mental illness.
He turned... Wow.
He's the one who was in a psychiatric hospital for 2 years or 2 weeks the year before, not her.
Unreal.
It's fucking ridiculous. So right away, pretty much the moment his ink is dry on the divorce, he marries another woman.
Okay.
Annie Laurie Langley he marries.
She's about to be frustrated.
Oh, for a long time. He's like, I got this dildo. Never mind. You don't know how to use that either, you fucking useless asshole. So just leave the dildo and go about your business. How's that? No, leave it here. Leave it here. Just put it back in the drawer. We'll use it next time.
Treats him like Johnny Tyler. Oh, the madcap. You may go now. Leave the dildo. I said leave it.
Leave it. So, yeah, after the marriage, too, he adopts her 2 sons.
Uh-huh. So now they got 7.
How lousy was that those kids' original father? Oh, Jesus Christ. So he works odd jobs off and on, fired all the time, theft, all that kind of shit here. Not doing great at all in life. In the 1980s, Annie Laurie, his wife's sister, begins to live with them as well. And her sister also witnessed his temper and physical and emotional abuse and all this, and he'd beat the shit out of Annie and everything else. So in 1989, they end up moving back to Palatka, Florida, where he was born and grew up. That's where the family moves. And then in 1992, Annie is diagnosed with very aggressive colon cancer.
Oh, no.
And she dies by the end of 92.
And he's in charge of 7 kids.
So, well, I think they're older now.
Okay,
that was 17 years ago. He adopted them, so they got to be older now. All of his kids have to be at least in their 20s by now.
Every 30s. One of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good anyway. There's no kids.
Fast.
But that's really fast. It went quick. They got it right at the end here. So now, December of 1992, after this happened, old Redbird here. He's riding around in his pickup truck with his buddy. Wilford Ames. Oh, Wilford and Redbird. Yeah. That's a pair right there.
Willie and Billy.
And he tells Willie, he's like, Willie, let me tell you something here. I ever tell you about this? I ever tell you about the time I killed a woman named Anita Stevens?
Oh, boy, you didn't.
And Ames was like, no, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't at all. According to Redbird's story, He and Anita were planning to do some drugs together and went to a property he owned and somewhere between Hastings and Palatka. When they got there, they had an argument about what? Money, drugs, and sex, of course. Like every rock band.
The normal.
Yeah. Like every rock band that's ever broken up. Money, drugs, and sex.
We had a real Motley Crue moment.
You know how it is. It was a decade of decadence, everybody. That's how it works.
Real Guns N' Roses night.
Real Slash in a hotel room kind of a deal. But he's driving in his old pickup truck. He's like an older guy. This guy, we always put soundtracks to these people, but as this goes on, it really makes sense. I feel like he's just got night moves on a loop. He's just got Bob Seger in the back seat of my 60 Chevy. He beat a woman. That's his fantasy. Working on dildos without any clue. Working with dildos without any clue.
Holy
Working on my dildo moves.
I just saw him like looking at the dildo. I'm like looking up at her. Anything? Nothing? How's this thing work? Nothing? Shit.
Trying to make some.
Seems to be pushing back. Anything?
Is it nothing? I'm working it. I don't know what you want from me.
Look, if I let go, it just pops right back out. I don't know.
It's not going to stay. Okay, I'll just leave it and I'll go. Okay. I'll leave it and go.
You do this.
So Redbird tells Ames that after they have their money, drugs, and sex argument, he, quote, he hit Anita, quote, many times and choked her to make sure she was dead.
Jesus God.
He then took her to a pond, took her clothes off, and put her in the water. And he said to Ames, quote, everyone would just think she's another crack whore. No one's ever going to try to find out what happened because it's drug-related. Yeah.
Holy Christ.
He told Ames, you better not ever tell anybody about this. And Ames said, Jesus, of course not. Come on, it's the scumbag code here. Obviously not. Yeah. So, but then he saw a newspaper article about her disappearance and murder, and he said it began to weigh on his conscience. And, also, he got arrested, and he needed to get out of it. So he's like, I know about a murder.
Yeah.
And that's how he ended up telling on Redbird.
He broke the code of Scumbag Corner?
He broke Crackhead Corner's code.
Scumbag code of Crackhead Corner.
It's very sad. The Scumbag code it's written in gold on Crackhead Corner. Yeah. They won't ever steal that gold. No. It's because it's sacred. He also said that he thought he should tell someone because, quote, Redbird is guilty and should have to pay.
Bad man.
Got to put that bird in a cage, fellers. I'll tell you what.
The cage canary sings.
He goes and Ames spills the whole beans to the cops, and they investigate the murders. They investigate what he was told, and they couldn't find any proof of what he claimed, so they didn't do shit. This is 1992, mind you. They couldn't find proof, and they were like, I don't know, that guy's fucking crazy, trying to get out of his charges. He's out of his mind.
Bill, yeah.
Crazy Bill is different than fucking Redbird. He's not. Crazy Bill's the other guy.
Right.
Ames is not.
Right, I'm saying Crazy Bill Crazy Bill was just saying crazy shit in the pickup truck, and
he's
and
just
Ames
talking.
Ames is trying to save his own ass.
You just talking, Then another witness comes forward. This is a few months after a woman named Denitha Sneed disappears. A waitress at a local fast food restaurant reports to detectives that she overheard a phone conversation in which she heard the man she knows as Redbird. Redbird told the person to whom he was speaking that Denitha was dead. And according to the waitress, Redbird said that Denitha had, quote, been knocked in the head and put in a pond near Old Maltree Road. Okay. So there you go. Now, several weeks later, Detective Jeremy Masters was on his lunch break, and he ran across Redbird at the same fast food restaurant in which Redbird had made that call. Okay. Runs across him, and he asks Redbird, I love how they didn't call him in for questioning. This waitress said this. Months go by. They just say, we'll get around to it at some point. They wait till they have a chance meeting, both eating lunch at the same place, before he takes a bite of his egg salad sandwich and then goes, hey, I mean to ask you, Redbird, what about that Denitha girl's disappearance?
Yeah.
That's literally what happened. He repeated that she was dead and that he thought she'd been knocked in the head and put in a pond. He then described a pond as deep with lily pads all around it, but he was vague about the location. Okay, but he didn't like. They were like, that's what I heard anyway. I heard it's a deep pond with lily pads.
Where'd you hear that, by the way? Anybody around in particular? You want to give us more names?
It's just around Crackhead Corner. Gossip gets around. Another young woman here, a prostitute named Robin Holden. Here, she worked near the sites of where these women were disappearing, so that's why it's important of what she does. She, hears when girls disappear and there's guys that creep people out, these women tell each other.
Right. Yeah.
They tell each other, hey, watch out for this one, watch out for this one. They literally do. Like, they don't, it's a thing. So
they look out for each other.
Get each other killed, So it's fucking dangerous. She, Robin Holden, she gave information that seemed to connect Redbird to the Denitha case as well. So Denitha Sneed case. She said that near the time Denitha disappeared, that Robin Holden had seen Denitha in a car with an older white male who drove a red pickup truck, like a Redbird.
Yeah.
She knew him as, quote, Redbird, and reported that other prostitutes had told her that he was violent and to stay away from him.
Yeah.
There you go. She said, quote, all the girls are afraid of him. She also claimed that he liked to take nude pictures of the women as well for a few extra bucks.
Yep.
That was part of his gig. So he's also known to use drugs and be frequently intoxicated. And that's another reason why the cops said they didn't take Ames, the guy he told in the pickup truck, they didn't take it seriously because they're like, we heard this guy's always fucked up. He does heroin half the time. He's always drunk. Who knows what he's talking about? So, a check of, and then they checked his vehicle, what Redbird was driving, and it wasn't the same one as those described by several informants as having been seen near there at the time of the women's murders. Okay. So they said it seemed probable that he wanted to display an inside knowledge of the murders to get attention and feel important. That's all it was. He heard some stuff and he talked about it, and that's all. Fly free, Redbird. Do your thing.
Who's a good police force? This? These are bad cops.
This is a crack police force here, man.
He is doing a lot, the most, and they have no idea.
When we watched the Richard Ramirez documentary where they talked to the detectives who were on that case and how difficult it was for them to put that all together, and they were like every little thing they were none of that bleeds over into this at all. This is a completely different thing. They're like, well, I'm sure he's just talking. I mean, crackhead corner and all.
Meanwhile, Gil's like suspecting every single person. He's not leaving until we catch this motherfucker.
No, he's checking Frank out, make sure his fingerprints don't match up.
Salerno, spit in this cup for me.
Come here. Hold on. Somebody grab that Coke can you just put down. Grab it.
Somebody replace his gun with another. Let's get some ballistics.
We need to do something here. So St. Johns County detectives Frank Wellborn and Mary Levesque and Asheville detective John Harrison conducted numerous interviews with other ladies from around this area and other women whom Lindsay was known to have been involved with. So both personally and professionally, I guess you could put it. So one of them is a woman named Sandra Sullivan. Now, Sandra first met Billy D., old Redbird. Sandra meets Redbird through Redbird's now deceased wife, Annie.
Okay.
Which is very weird here. Annie was still married. What the okay. Now, okay. Apparently, when Annie was still married to her first husband before
Redbird,
her husband had gotten... Her husband, Annie's husband, had an affair with Sandra.
Okay.
The affair ended because Sandra got pregnant, and then Annie's husband cut off the relationship, leaving Sandra to raise the child alone.
Like a piece of shit.
Like a complete asshole, yeah. So years later, Sandra heard, we're talking, almost 20 years later, 17 years later, Sandra heard Annie was sick with cancer and said that she felt bad and wanted to apologize for having an affair with her husband at the time, her ex-husband. And it was at that time she met fucking Redbird.
Yeah, and to make up for it, I'll blow this one.
To make up for it, I'll be unsatisfied by your new husband. How's that? The two of them began a relationship, Redbird and Sandra. Sandra described it as platonic. And Sandra told the detective that Lindsay was good to her and her kids. However, she was aware that he used to beat the shit out of Annie, and he even admitted to Sandra that he used to be cruel to his wife and beat her up and all sorts of shit like that. Sandra also noticed that he was taking Annie's prescription for morphine for her own use, even though she had cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, even though she had cancer, that's why she's prescribed it, because she's in a great amount of pain. He was taking it.
He's robbing
No.
her. Unbelievable.
I'll take that, so I feel good. So an incident, another woman here in North Carolina named Chanel Barnes, she was standing on a corner of Broadway and Elizabeth Street in Asheville. This is a kind of a high traffic area to pick up ladies. And Lindsay stopped and asked her if she's going out on dates tonight, is what he said.
You looking for a date? Yeah.
You dating? And they agreed on a price. She got into the car. At some point here, she made an effort to get some pull a little con on him, get some money out of him, get a little extra bucks. Apparently it didn't work. And as they were driving back toward the strip here where she drops him off back to the track, out of the blue, he in his truck picked up a baseball bat from behind the seat and began beating her about the head and face with a baseball bat. Almost killed her. And then out of nowhere, he threw the bat down behind the seat again and apologized to her.
Good Bill and Bad Bill.
Good Bill and Bad Bill. and she was in the hospital for a few days. Yeah. And when she was released from the hospital, she told the detectives that, quote, he needs mental help.
Yeah.
She doesn't, that's all it's his problem. He's got a mental problem. There's a lot. Another thing that keeps coming up is he's impotent a lot. Oh, no. His dick doesn't work a whole lot of the times with these women that he pays for. So several of these women reported that at times he's unable to get an erection. He gets angry, and that's the sort of thing. Also, Willa Jean also backed up, by the way, when he said I couldn't satisfy her, blah, blah, blah. She told the cops that is true. He didn't satisfy me at all. That's absolutely, he did. She told him that. Now, another one here, Dale Chambers, who is a pimp/drug dealer.
Hell of a resume.
Not kidding. Yeah. That's his resume, who would supply Lindsay with ladies, observed that Lindsay came to his place for women 3 or 4 times a week. And in addition to this, he was also picking them up on the street in between.
Wow.
So Lindsay is like,
he's got an appetite for disappointing people.
Yeah, he must really loves to self-loathe. That's all I can imagine.
He loves hating himself. Man.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So they have him sitting there. He's remorseful and he's ready to confess, and he does. The first bit of information he comes forth with is, he says, in October 1995, let me tell you what happened. And he does. And he's also going to talk about July 1995 as well, and then go from there. October 1995, the disappearance of a woman named Diana Richardson, who was 48 years old. He's... Throughout first of all, he would adamantly say he was innocent, and then they'd say, I don't have a criminal record, quote, not so much as a parking ticket in Florida. He said, quote, I was brought up to do the right thing. If I made a mistake, I would generally own up to it. And they said that he was on the surface cooperative and all that sort of shit. And then he changed his mind here, and he decided, okay, fine. So October 1995, he talks about what happened. And Diana Richardson, 48 years old, They end up searching a pond where he said that she may have been dumped. She had agreed. She got in the car with him. It was $50 for a blowjob was the agreed upon price here. That was the
deal.
That's what we were going.
Not a bad deal at all.
A blowjob at any price is a good deal. I mean, I'm sorry if someone wants to give you a blowjob, whatever you can give them in exchange is wonderful. I feel like because that's just
it's well earned and deserved for sure.
So she was. She said, "Sure, let's do this right here." And he said that no, it's going to be dangerous if we do it here. There's we can't do that. Let's take a ride. He's driving a Monte Carlo. Remember? Yeah. We were talking about those very recently.
Car.
He said he knew a good spot down the road here. So they drove along. Diana began rubbing his dick.
Yeah.
Okay, so his dick got hard.
Oh, it worked.
It worked.
She's good at this.
He gets real excited and pulls the car into a nearby driveway, which was a small driveway near the borrow pits off Holmes Boulevard. So he knows all these borrow pits, okay? He unzips his pants and was sitting on the front seat. She's in the passenger side, fully clothed. She starts going down on him, and he claims that for some unknown reason, she bit him hard in the dick, okay?
Yeah, I can do that.
He said pain shot through him, and he said that his trigger flared, and he punched her in the back of the head with his hand. And he said then after that, he began pounding on her head with increasingly more forceful blows. And he said he kept doing that until she completely stopped moving and was unconscious. So he said, she's either dying or dead. So he picks her up in what he called a little fireman's carry, carried her down to the borrow pit, and threw her into the water. There you go.
Okay.
After that, he drove away and went to his daughter's house in Ocala to visit.
Wow.
Yep, that's where he was on the way to. He figured he'd get a blowjob on the way, but, things happen, I guess.
After murdering a woman with his fists, he went to visit his daughter.
Hi, honey.
Shocking.
Yeah, little sore.
Yeah.
So a few months later here, October 12th, 1995, or not a few months, few weeks, Diana Richardson's 17-year-old son, she's got family and everything like that, reported her missing to the sheriff's office, said he hadn't heard from his mother in several days, and had, he went to all the tracks and everywhere she usually hangs out and asked about her, but no one's seen her. So they put her on a missing persons list, and no one reported having seen or heard from her since that date, too, so it just kind of got pushed off to the wayside.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, he also talks about in June 1995, Cheryl Lucas was 31 years old. She got in the car with him at about 2 a.m. on the corner of Palmer and King Streets during a rainy night outside of the Pick and Save.
Yikes.
Yeah. They went less than a block, he claims, before she grabbed some money from the dash and bailed out of the vehicle.
Okay.
So she tried to grab the money and run. That's what he claims. She ran down the railroad tracks toward Crackhead Corner, he said, but he was able to catch up with her and, as he put it, quote, crushed her skull with a pry bar.
Whoa.
Her body was found several days later by boaters at the nearby boat ramp there. So, Cheryl she was looking for, I guess one of the people on the corner said that she said, I'm going to scam me some money over here. That's what she said. Like, I'm going to find some fucking money. She said that she was seen getting into a 1978 Firebird with one of her regular Johns, who was quoted as one of the other people on Crackhead Corner said, quote, a guy who looks like Willie Nelson.
Yeah. Firebird?
And a Firebird
That's
here.
That's a man.
That's something. That's Florida for you. Willie Nelson and a Firebird should be on the Florida flag, I feel like.
That's a very Florida man.
Not Willie Nelson, but a man who looks like Willie Nelson in a Firebird.
A slightly off Willie Nelson.
Yeah. Fucking generic Willie Nelson. Dollar store Willie Nelson.
Pick and save Willie.
Hydrox Willie. There he is. Go bot Willie Nelson. So... that same evening, others saw her getting in and out of cars at Crackhead Corner between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m., so she had a busy night.
Yeah.
They said Cheryl was real wise. She knew the peak hours. She knew the time of the night when she was mostly going to encounter the guy she was looking for, who had the most money. She said she wanted white guys driving expensive cars. That's what she's looking for.
Yeah.
She said that's where she can make the most money. She said an intermittent drizzle had been falling, and it's 2:00. She's standing out there, and I guess she was like calling as people drove by. She'd be yelling, "Hold up, hold up!" Like she'd needed help, and then be like, "You want a blowjob?" So, which is a great sales technique,
Solid,
I guess.
yeah.
I mean, once you're stopped, I guess. So, anyway, kidding aside, she. One woman here who knew her said, "Why don't you go home here? What the hell?" And then she didn't. And then she saw her get into a dark-colored pickup truck with a man. She couldn't see the driver of the truck.
Yeah.
And, that was it. She said that she was trying to make some money, she told her friend, for some more drugs for the rest of the night. That's all she was doing.
Damn.
One more score here. So, anyway, he said she took the money. She tried to run away. She leaped from the vehicle. He chased her, beat her with a pry bar. He, many times, she fell unconscious. She bled all over the place. He continued to bludgeon her even after she was unconscious and bleeding all over the place, probably 4 or 5 times, he said. Finally, she was no longer moving. He hurried back to his pickup truck and, looked around, made sure no one saw what happened. And it was raining in the middle of the night, so nobody was out there. So he backed his vehicle up to where she was laying, and he loaded her into the pickup truck, covered it with a tarp, and pulled right back onto the main street.
Holy shit.
That is fucking crazy. Then he dumped her off the boat ramp there. He avoided the main thoroughfares, he said, while he was doing it, because he was very familiar with the area. He went down deserted back roads and side streets. He said that he had to cross US 1, the highway, but there were only a few vehicles on the road and no police cars. So he eased up on that a little bit. And, he said he went and dumped her off of the thing. It's just, he said there was houses lining the road opposite the creek too. So anyone could have saw him doing this.
Wild.
He said he was looking around, but I mean, you can't see someone looking out the window in their house. You're not going to see that. So it was a small little area with picnic tables and a park space. That's a little boat ramp area. That's where he said he said he first tried to slide her body from the truck bed, pulling on her shorts, but he couldn't get it off. So he said he grasped her limbs and pulled her out of the body, pulled her out of the car, dumped her in, and she was laying face down when he left her.
Nice. This will ruin somebody's day tomorrow.
Several days later, Brenda and Eddie Stewart pulled up to the ramp parking lot, preparing to launch their boat.
Yeah.
They had their golden retriever Pickle with them.
Oh, Pickle.
Little Pickle gets let out of the car and goes racing toward an area of tall weeds some 50 or so yards away. They followed her. "Come back, Pickle. Oh, Pickle, come back." And they find the body of a woman face down in the water.
What do you smell, boy? Oh, no.
Yeah. They hurried to the house that was nearest and called the police and all that sort of shit. So this was fucking terrible.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking awful. So he most of the women he kills too are black women as well. He kills black women. Yeah, I don't know if that's I don't know. It doesn't.
Is it a
there's
hate
no
or
reason.
or an attraction? You don't know.
I think it's a sexual attraction, and I don't know the psychology of it beyond that, or if he thinks that I'm looking for women who will be societally disposable.
Yeah.
These are where I know the prostitutes are, and they happen to be black in this area where I know. I don't know if that was what it is. We don't know. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
I don't know if it's like Jeffrey Dahmer where he said I had a type and didn't matter what color they were. That was my thing. We don't know his exact deal here. Now, as he continues to confess, this is when he tells the cops that he has something wrong with him that caused him to do these things from time to time. They're like, "Well, how many more times have you done this?
Yeah.
What's up with that?" Also they said he's got a lot of emotional detachment and things like that. Things that make them think that, oh no, he could have killed a lot of people.
Right.
So he says, well, where do you want me to start? And they said, well, start at the beginning.
Worst. Yeah.
Start at the beginning. He says, all right. How about October 1983?
Okay.
There's a young lady named Lisa Foley, who's 24. She's a regular at the Trade Winds Lounge. And 5 days after she disappeared, her body was discovered in a marshy area off the west end of Pope Road in St. Augustine Beach. He says, yikes, when we left the Trade Winds, we drove to the A Street ramp down to St. Augustine Beach. We had intercourse, and she wanted $300. I said $50 is all you're going to get.
You 1/6 her?
Jesus Christ, bro.
That is low, you cheap son of a bitch.
With a house that's within 5%, I believe, is considered not insulting. What are we talking about here?
Did you come? $300 seems reasonable.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. He said, quote, this started us fighting. I strangled her and took her body down to Pachetti Road and dumped her in a borrow pit down there. Again with the borrow pit. Then he said, November 29th, 1988, Anita Louise Stevens McQuaig, who's 27 years old at the time here. And most of these are from Crackhead Corner, which is the intersection of Volusia and West King Streets, by the way. Okay. If you're looking for Crackhead Corner, that's where it is. Okay. Yeah, enjoy. So, Anita is discovered. A county worker, Eugene Wells, discovers her. He's an employee of the Anastasia Mosquito Control District.
Yikes.
He was collecting water samples from the Barrow ponds on Fish Island and identifying potential mosquito breeding areas.
Ew.
That's a gross job. You're getting bit a lot in that job.
And the description sounds horrible on Fish Island. Ew.
Fish Island, it stinks. There's fucking
Mosquitoes
shit breeding in the water.
Yeah.
As he was turning around by one of the ponds, he noticed something floating out of the water and stopped his truck and got out to check.
Oh.
He thought it was a department store mannequin at first, which we've heard countless times in these murders.
How many times
have you to see a body?
Yeah, but how many times have you seen a department store? How many times has it been a department store mannequin?
Well,
never. It's never a mannequin. It's always a body.
Why. But here's why your brain makes that connection. You've seen a lot more mannequins than dead bodies in your life.
Yeah,
Everyone
but I've
has.
never seen them in water.
No, if I see one in water, but you don't know if it's you think it's a prank at first. You never think, must be a dead person. We do because we're sick. But normal people, we know it's out there.
Yeah.
This is episode 275. We understand. But normal people might just be like, that must be a mannequin or something. What is that? Is that? Oh, it's got hair. Man, hold on. Cover the kids' eyes. Get them back in the car. Put the kids back in the car. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
That's a hairy-ass mannequin leg.
Oh, no. That's not good. So as he's turning around, he thinks it's a store mannequin. He returns to his truck, puts on a pair of water boots. He's going to go investigate the store mannequin.
He's going to galosh it. Oh, boy.
He stepped into the edge of the pond to get a better look, and then he realized that what he had taken to be a mannequin was not a fucking mannequin. So they said Mr. Wells was securing the road, protecting tracks he observed in the roadway. He led us to a water-filled borrow pit and pointed out the body. This is with the cops, because he went back and got the cops. Yeah. We observed a semi-nude body of a white female. She was near the southwest back, wearing a light-colored shirt and tan-looking shoes. The shirt appeared to have been lifted over the chest, exposing her breasts. I observed several foot tracks in the area, as well as a red cigarette lighter and 2 blue strings. The evidence was not molested and secured for further evidence collection. It's good they didn't molest it. That's helpful.
Ruin its dignity.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So they said that this area was a frequent place where people would dump debris, so it would be difficult to determine what articles might be connected to the crime.
Right.
It's like in the homicide book when they find somebody in like an abandoned row house. They're like, it's a shooting gallery. People come and do drugs here all the time. We have no idea what has to do with the murder, what has to do with just people from 6 months ago. They said they just found her white female between the ages of 25 and 30, partially clothed, wearing a white sweatshirt with the design of boxing gloves and the letters TKO on the front.
Okay.
So there's that. The sweatshirt and her underwire bra had been pulled up. Her pink corduroy sweatpants, which appeared to have semen stains on them, were found hanging from a bush about 15 feet from where the body was found.
What?
Lab tests later failed to demonstrate that the sweatpants had semen stains, although they tested positive for the presence of blood. Gray sweatpants she was wearing had been pulled down around her sneakers. She's still wearing jewelry, including a gold herringbone necklace, which had been pulled tight around her neck. You could see ligature marks there.
Okay.
And on her wrist, she had a blue, like a friendship bracelet type of thing. She had been beaten so badly that her eye socket was crushed and her jaw was fractured in 2 places. Oh, by the way, her body also had cigarette burns and bite marks in several places that were fresh. Torture. Yeah. She apparently, by the way, was the night that she was picked up was a very cold night. It was like a unseasonably cold night. It's November, but it's Florida. So, it was a really cold night. She was looking for a date late at night. They said that other people there said he appeared in his later 40s or early 50s, which was good because they all thought of that as safer. Uh-huh. The older the guy, the safer the guy they think of. The young guys with all the energy are the ones they're worried about.
Right.
So they came to $40 for a straight up, is the agreement they came to, apparently. So she jumped in the passenger seat and drove out there. As they pulled away from the curb, she was looking at him, I guess, and, she thought he looked familiar. Didn't know his name, but thought he looked real familiar. Had I been out with this guy before? Yeah. What's going on here? And we'll find out about that in a minute here. So they drove. At one point, as they're driving, he starts to grope her between her legs, and she pushed him away and said, "Pay me first, and then we can fucking whatever." So she said she had been telling her friends, actually, that a few weeks before, a guy stiffed her and dumped her out, like, in the middle of nowhere.
Awful.
Kicked her out of the car. So another guy, like, robbed her, and so, it happens all the time. So she pointed to an unpaved dirt road off to the left off of after the Route 302 bridge. It was an area of Fish Island. And they said police would come by once in a while, but it's usually pretty safe here because just to sweep out the homeless people. Otherwise, it's very safe. It's deserted. She said, pull over here. And the way he put it is he said, we were fighting outside the car. I picked up a 3-foot-long piece of board, maybe about a 1x6. I hit her several times on the upper portion of her body. After that, I carried her 15 feet to the pond and I threw her in, and then I went home to my mom's at Sylvan Drive.
Holy shit.
Wow. I don't even know what's up with that. So, yeah, that's fucking brutal. He got cut up, too, in the palmetto fronds there that were there, he was saying, too. Her face was all broken up. This was fucking brutal, man. This was absolutely brutal. He burned her with cigarettes. Yeah. He bit her neck and her inner thigh. He then, this is another thing he did. He raped her with tree branches, Jimmy.
Wow.
Post-mortem.
Oh, boy.
Tree branches in every place possible.
Oh, my.
Then he dragged her from the tree limb. Oh, by the way, tree limbs still protruding when they found her. And threw her into the water. So he watched her drift away, and then he came on back. So, yeah, she was only 27 years old. She actually came from like a prominent family.
Really?
Actually. One of the sheriff's deputies said everyone around town knew and respected Anita's family. They said that she was just kind of the black sheep that the power of crack took her away.
And that's the one he's telling us is number one? That's the first one?
That's the second one. This is 83 was the first one.
Oh, 83 was the first one. This is an 83.
Yeah, this is 88. Okay. She was only born with one kidney, this Anita.
Wow.
So she had her kind of rough from the beginning. She got pregnant in the 9th grade, dropped out of school, had a hastily arranged marriage that took place between her and a 19-year-old boatyard worker who was the father of the kid. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, he was a drug addict and an alcoholic who would beat the shit out of her all the time. Right. So, she moved back home with her parents, with the baby and all that sort of thing. And, she ended up getting into, she worked at a restaurant and she got into drugs working at a restaurant, which how many people do you know that happened to? And, that's what happened. They said that the medical examiner noted multiple injuries, including hemorrhages of the larynx and hyoid on the right side, a blow to the left side of the head and eye, forceful blows to the mouth and nose with fractures of the anterior face, a blow to the back of the right thorax, perforation of the rectum with a sharp pointed wooden object, vaginal tears possibly caused by a foreign object, cigarette burn under the left chin, and possible bite marks on the neck and right thigh.
Just
holy
an assault.
Shit. Fucking horrific. Absolutely fucking horrific. It's fucking horrible. So
he fucking hates women.
Oh, you absolutely.
Hates
and this
them.
one, he wasn't a suspect at all. The main suspect was an ex-boyfriend named Jonathan Tremble, who had dated Anita. He called the sheriff's office saying that the picture that in the paper appeared to be Anita Stevens, and they questioned him, and he said, I liked her a lot, but I wasn't in love with her or anything like that. It was kind of like a friendship, you know. And they were like, really? And he said, quote, it's a very sad thing that had happened. I just feel sorry for her mom and dad. I mean, it's sad when someone's killed and it's an accidental death or a car wreck. That's one thing. But when you see a beating, that makes you really sick. I hope you guys get whoever did this.
We're going to follow him forever.
He sounds so guilty. They're talking to every woman he's ever talked to, but he's not guilty at all. He absolutely is not guilty. Now, when he ends up being taken to court, Lindsay, her mother, Anita's mother, McQuaid here, Mildred McQuaid, sat in the courtroom and said, quote, I wanted to see him. And when I did, I think he had been in my home and sat on my couch.
That's why he looked familiar.
That's why he looked familiar.
Boy.
She said she thinks she remembers seeing Lindsay at her house in April or May 1988 and that he had come to give her daughter a ride.
Unbelievable.
So the FBI is now involved in this here. From the multiple murders here. The FBI is involved because different things, there's different linkages, and they're also linking them to things in other states, and they're trying to see if they're connected. This is post-Ted Bundy. They're really trying to work on this here. Next up is Connie Marie Terrell, 26 years old, June 10th, 1989. Her nude body is discovered by fishermen as it was half submerged in a borrow pond off Holmes Boulevard. She'd been strangled with a rope, then shot in the head with a .22 caliber pistol. He said after he did it, quote, then I drove back toward my mother's house. I threw the spent cartridge out toward the median of the road. I can't remember exactly what I did with her clothes, but I probably threw them in the San Sebastian Creek on my way home. A couple of people unloading their boat from their truck. They launched it, pushed away from the shore, and they'd been in the water for 3 minutes when they saw something bright red or purple in the water that caught their attention, and they realized it was a female body lying on the back, half in and half out of the water. She was naked except for a red T-shirt that had been pulled up.
And that was her skin that they saw? The red and purple?
That was, it was bloating in the water and all that sort of thing. So at 8:40, 8:40 on the morning of June 11th, 89, Deputy Folan L. Christmas.
Really?
Folan L. Christmas is his name. Folan Christmas. That's Folan. Folin. Folan Christmas.
Hate it. Is it Fallen, maybe?
Folan Christmas. His middle initial's L. I'm assuming it's Lloyd Christmas. So we'll see.
I hope
it's
so.
Folan Lloyd Christmas. He worked at the St. John's Sheriff's Office. He was parked in the Lil Champs lot. Lil Champs?
I guess it's a store.
Like a restaurant or something, a store. And he was approached by a white male. The male introduced himself as Robert Sykes and said that he wanted to speak with him about something very important. He said, the important thing is this fucking body I just found in this pond. You probably want to find that. So she, like I said, pinkish purple shirt is the only thing she's wearing. With it's like an Eddie Murphy buckwheat shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like from SNL, like an SNL merch buckwheat shirt. Yeah, that's what she's wearing in '88. And a small yellow nylon rope was tied around her neck, and she still had on several rings and a pair of earrings as well. So the diagram showed, they had it all diagrammed, they released to the public. The medical examiner here said that she died of the gunshot wound to the head, and this was confirmed when they found a flattened lead bullet in her brain. She suffered a hemorrhage of the larynx, suggesting that she had been strangled as well. He also noticed that she had abrasions of her right arm, traces of recent cocaine use, and possible alcohol intoxication. he said that it was, they go on from there. Her friend, she is friends with Anita Stevens, Connie. They hang out together. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He was a regular with both of them. And, her same thing with Anita. Connie was hooked on crack too, led her to prostitution, just like all of these women. Yeah. None of them are like, I'm going to set out and I'm going to be the best girl on Crackhead Corner, but I'm not going to do drugs. Like, that's not what anybody does. Right. Here we go. So Connie had taken off from a boyfriend's house on June 10th, 89. She'd been drinking heavily all afternoon, but wanted to go out and get some crack. According to the people at the house here, she informed one of the people that lived there that she was going to meet a guy so she could get money to go get crack. Right. And Connie told this other woman, wait for me, we'll party when I get back. So, she it was like 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. He pulled up in a dark Ford LTD.
Hell yeah.
And Connie stepped inside, said, looking for a date. How much? Depends on what you want. Straight up. $30 they decide on.
Deal.
So, the car, she said, they said that when they looked her over, they wouldn't have thought that he had a lot of money. The car, the clothes, who he was. So she jumped in the car, told him where to drive, Holmes Boulevard. She said, I know a spot where we won't be bothered. They arrived. She showed him where to pull the car over and all that kind of shit. They climbed into the back seat. She took off her pants and her underwear, and she pulled the T-shirt kind of up, kind of a deal here. And he undid his pants and everything. So he couldn't get it up here.
Sure.
So he ends up apparently he says that she laughed at him.
Yeah.
So he begins beating her with his fists. She fought back, but she's about 105 pounds.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and she's on her back too to begin with. So it's not a good position to start from. Evenly matched MMA fighters, you wouldn't want to start on your back. That's not with a guy already punching you. That's not the position you want to start from.
Right.
And if you're 100 pounds, you really don't want that. So, he's wrestling with her, and he ended up grabbing a piece of rope that he had previously shaped into a noose from under his front seat, and he jerked it around her neck, and she struggled even more, and he kicked open the car door, climbed out, yanked her out with the rope. He threw her to the ground and began to beat her unmercifully, obviously, pulling the rope tighter and tighter. And Jesus Christ, he's punching her all over the place. And then he ended up shooting her in the head with a rifle after that, with a .22. Next up, he talks about March 11th, 1992, LaShawna Streeter, 27 years old. And a guy named David McClure, a handyman and lawn service worker, had the unfortunate occurrence of walking down State Road 207 to the railroad tracks on his way home, following a trail which led into Old Maltree Road, where they'd go. It's near the Flagler Hospital. He encountered a smell, which he assumed came from a dead animal, but it became heavier and heavier as he walked. So he looked through the palmettos, searching for the source.
Yeah.
Why are you searching for the source? And he saw a dead body covered with maggots.
Oh, boy.
So he ran to the hospital and told the first doctor he saw of the discovery, because that was the closest building, the doctor. Doctor called the sheriff's department. A detective comes to talk to him. He takes the detective back to the body. It is a human body. They interview this guy who found this body at the hospital here, and they were suspicious of him at first, of course, but then he was stated to, they interviewed the nurses who talked to him at the hospital, and they said that he had never seen a dead body before other than his friend being shot under a bridge. That's what he said.
Well, that's seeing a dead body before, sir.
That's exactly seeing a dead body. He said that he later on, he claimed, too, that he was having nightmares and that, quote, her dead body came back to haunt him for years. Boy. This poor bastard. Jesus Christ. That's bad. LaShawna was, on March 1st, 92, was on Crackhead Corner looking for a date here. And Lindsay pulled into the parking lot about 4:15 p.m. And her body was found 10 days later there. Jesus. So he pulled in with his car on Crackhead Corner. She gets in. Now, people saw her walking toward the vehicle. They saw him. They saw everything, but didn't matter. She said apparently he gave her the once over, and she said looking for a date, and he said maybe, and he said, but you won't do. I'm looking for a white woman. That's what he told her.
Oh.
So she apparently, everybody said that she played it cool and said, I could help you out, sugar, for the right price. So she played it like, hey, I don't know what the fuck you think the difference is with all this shit, but I'll rock your world too. So he ended up, he had $30, and he says, how's 30? And he had three $10 bills in his hand. And she said that he didn't look like a big spender, and 30 is probably about as much as she's going to get out of him, is what everybody was thinking. And so she got in the car, and they drove up the street, and apparently she told him to make a turn. And as he slowed down, he claimed she snatched the money and made a grab for the door handle.
Oh, boy.
I love how all of these stories start with, it wasn't just me being, angry or me wanting to do this. I was just trying to have a simple business transaction, and they all did something. They bit me. They robbed me. They all did something that caused me to murder them horribly. You know what I mean?
How many times do you get burned before you stop going?
Yeah, or stick with the guy, the drug dealer pimp, where he goes to his house and he procures him women. I don't fucking know. So, or work on your game and find a woman that might want to have sex with you and be disappointed.
Jerk off like the rest of us.
There you go. So before she could jump out, he slammed on the brakes, and she kind of went forward into the dashboard because she didn't have a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
He then grabbed her by the back of the neck and banged her head off the dashboard a few times while she was trying to get out of the car. And he's trying to push her like into the main, no, like in the floorboards of the car here. He punches her a few times until she's pretty unconscious, and then heads back down the street. He said he wanted to have a place to just dump her out, but she kept groaning and all this type of shit. And he ended up turning his car down another lane, continued down the South Dixie Highway, and he said he was getting angrier and angrier. And finally, he saw Old Dairy Farm Road, and he went down a little dirt road with a small distance. As soon as he braked to stop, he got out of the driver's seat, went around to the passenger seat, ripped her out of the car, dragged her by her hair from the car. She is half unconscious and everything like that. He starts to beat her and kick her and all that sort of thing. Finally, more kicking. It's fucking horrible. He just beats her to death with his hands, hauls the body toward one of the deeper puddles, and dumps her over into a big puddle, into the borrow pit. He watched it splash in there, and he said it looked too exposed to him, so then he gathered some armfuls of underbrush to put on top of there, too, to cover her up. And then he said, that, quote, she managed to kick the door open, but I hit her. I stopped the car and started hitting her more. I knocked her unconscious. She didn't mention her name, and I didn't know her. Fuck, that's what he said. But he described everything else, and man, she was badly decomposed when they found her. It was fucking brutal, man. Her elbows, she's described as a young adult black female lying face up. Her elbows and knees were flexed, and a burgundy shirt and undershirt had been pulled up over her collarbones. Much of the skin over her upper body was missing, and there was considerable maggot infestation. He also stated that while driving around, he did not see anything suspicious except some other guy. So there was that. This is fucking horrible, man. Absolutely horrible.
Is that 4 or 5?
Believe that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe.
Good Lord.
Now, it's Jesus Christ. It's hard to get through. Hard to read the stuff and all that sort of thing. LaShawna, had been living for 2 years with a guy named Curtis Glover, who was a food service worker at Flagler College. They shared a home with another guy who worked at a local restaurant, and they were with her the night she disappeared, and Glover was the one who reported her disappearance. And in the missing persons report, Glover said that he, quote, believes Streeter may have run into trouble and could even be dead. And he described her as all the things she was wearing and said that she was addicted to crack and would go out on the street to find, guys to hook up with. So, they ended up matching her unidentified body with this report, and they end up, matching the two together based on her clothing and things like that. They sent a bulletin out, the police do, requesting officers to the field to identify possible Johns at the height at this area. Especially, they said, look for possible suspects in a dark blue similar to a Chevette, or a blue van, or a CJ7 or similar model Jeep. These are very different cars.
Any car.
Any car or truck on the road. So those are the women that were found.
Yeah.
Okay. By 1993, no one had given a shit anymore about any of this. This was the 80s. This was happening. By 93, no one cared, but that's when Denitha, remember Denitha, who Redbird was overheard talking about on the phone? Right. Denitha Laverne Sneed Hale, who was 32, she was reported missing. Her mother reported her missing. I apologize. They said that she rode her bicycle to her mother's house and asked to borrow her mother's car. She returned the car and asked to borrow some money, so her mother gave her $3. She left on the bike, and that was that. I guess her neighbors said that they noticed Denitha had not returned for several days, and they were friendly with her, and they thought that the parents should know, in case you've been missing her, she hasn't been home. I haven't seen her. Do you know where the fuck she is? So that's how it ended up happening. They went to check out her apartment. They found the kitchen light on, rode around. No one had seen her. So, they made it a missing persons case. They also found out that she was addicted to crack and also had HIV as well.
No.
They found that out because they ended up finding her records through the St. John's Health Department, and that's what they found out there. So, she had a tough life there. He said, quote, "I started planning to kill her. When we got to the end of the paved road, I just stopped the truck and started beating her. I hit her with my fist about 6 or 7 times, and she went out, completely unconscious. I went to the woods about 30 feet along the bank and threw her in the creek."
Oh, boy.
Jesus Christ. So they said that there's other cases that he's a prime suspect in Florida of a 7th woman, but he hadn't been charged in the case. They were working on the 7th case at the time because they had 6 at this point. The prosecutors offered him a plea agreement.
What?
They offer him a plea agreement, but he rejects the deal.
Great.
Not taking it.
Great.
Okay.
We'll go to
no
trial.
problem. We'll go to trial with this. So they said each case will probably be tried separately.
Oh,
that way you have the best chance.
Yeah.
That way they don't all get mixed up together.
And maybe one of them comes up with death.
Exactly. They said we feel clearly that from the indictments, it's the right way to proceed. And they said that it could be years before all the cases are tried, which is bad. The prosecutor said time is our worst enemy in these type of things, obviously.
Yeah.
So November 1998, they figure out that even though he confessed to 7, they're not going to charge him for 2 of them.
Oh.
2 of the cases will not be charged against. He can't. They can't. It was Denitha Sneed and Diana Richardson. The bodies have never been found. So even though he gave a full and detailed confession, they never found the bodies. They don't have any physical evidence, so they're not going to just believe his confession. So they have nothing. So they're not going to charge him with those. They figure they have enough in the others to not worry about those.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, he proved no body, no crime at that point. Yeah. I mean, they were like, even if you admit it, fuck it, right? So the judge said in a ruling that Lindsay's confession was the only evidence against him.
Okay.
All right. So, but what if he's already, if he had no priors, never did a thing, and the only evidence against him was 2 confessions of murder, you go, maybe he didn't kill anybody. But when you have already 5 he killed.
Yeah.
Because
we're
talking
corroborating everything that's at the scene that only the killer would know.
That's it.
What do you do? I mean, give him the other 2.
4 in Florida, 1 in North Carolina, and then 2 others in Florida that he won't be charged for.
Okay.
Finally, right before the trial starts, he decides to take a plea deal.
Oh.
Decides, you know what? taking the plea.
Okay.
You guys were right. This is crazy. I should really be taking a plea here. Now, why the fuck would the prosecutor take a plea here, right?
Accept it? Yeah, why?
Bodies, confessions, but with murder cases, you never fucking know. And the prosecutor said these kinds of cases, at best, they're risky for both sides. If we were to fail right there, it's entirely possible that he might end up on the street. I don't want any additional killing to occur at the hands of this individual. Mm-hmm. So, they said that whatever happens in North Carolina won't affect his other cases here. So July 1999, he is charged with first-degree murder in the deaths of Constance Marie Terrell, LaShawna Streeter, Denitha Sneed, Cheryl Lucas, and Diana Richardson. Okay. They ended up charging him with that too, actually, because when they plea it, then they're like, oh, okay, we can
lump that in there now.
We can't try him individually on it, just with his thing, but if we can lump it, then fuck it, lump him. So the sentencing comes around. The plea bargain, what it definitely does is get rid of the possibility of the death penalty.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Wipes that off the table here. And, this is crazy. He is given, you ready for this, Jimmy? For all these murders, you, sir, may fuck off 30 years.
Holy, what are we?
For each murder to be served concurrently.
Okay. Wait, no.
Yeah,
what are
30 years total.
Peru?
30 years total. He's due to be released from this point, because this is, July 99 he's being sentenced. Due to be released December 11th, 2025.
Holy shit.
At the age of 90. Even 90. Do you want this guy out?
No. That guy
Even
is the least suspected on Pervert Row.
Yes.
He's going to murder more.
He's standing in front of the school going, you want to watch baseball? You want to come in and watch baseball? And everyone's like, he's 90. He's harmless. Next thing you know, you got a nylon rope around your neck and he's fucking beating you half to death and burning you with cigarettes.
He's going Ryan Sandberg, right? Come on, here, taste this.
Yeah. Come on, over here. Yeah. Can you imagine that?
No.
To me, the only plea is like, we won't kill you. That's the plea you're getting.
Yeah.
You get life in prison. Are you fucking joking? You want to get out
you forever.
too?
That's it.
What makes you think that we would want you on the street? Who would want you?
You can't get you're useless to anybody.
You're 90. Even if you were the greatest guy in the world, you can't get a job. Fuck are you going to get? You know what I mean? Even if you're the most upstanding person in the world, if you've got 7 murder convictions and you're a rapist, who the fuck is going to hire you?
Even Walmart greeters are 70.
Yeah, even at 90, you're outaged by Walmart and everything else.
You're all aged out of the market.
Too murdery, too. Just too much murder as well for Walmart, I believe. Yeah. So the mother of one of the victims during sentencing asked the circuit judge, Robert K. Mathis, that for a special condition in his sentencing, that all 4 women of the Florida that he was convicted for pictures of the women be posted in his cell. Photos of the women. God. So he has to look at them.
Can we maybe paint a mural in his cell or something?
The problem is the judge said he's not going to impose that stipulation. He said, quote, I don't think Mr. Lindsay's psychological makeup is such that would be a punishment to him.
No, he'd jerk off to that.
It's exactly right. He said that display he would consider a trophy case.
Of course. Yeah.
That would be like, oh, here's all my victims. Like, if you let him put the pictures on the wall, he'd do it.
Right.
Like,
what, you got a pair of panties you want him to hang in there too? Jesus Christ, people.
What else you got for him? Yeah, anything.
You got more personal effects of theirs?
Jesus Christ. So they did. Mathis does, though, recommend that Lindsay serve his sentence. And by the way, he's 64 years old. Yeah. In the general population, in Gen Pop, rather than be given a private cell.
Wow.
So he is old and a fucking awful, terrible rapist who kills women. So that is not a good guy to be in Gen Pop.
Not at all.
If you're him. Under the plea agreement, he pleads guilty to 6 counts of second-degree murder in the Florida cases here, and he would receives a 30-year sentence. The DA says, quote, this man is 62 years old, and 30 years is a long time. I think you've got to look at what the best interest of the state and the victims are. Okay.
You want us to all kick his ass then?
Yeah, when he gets out in 2025, we'll all whoop his ass.
We'll just stand at the gates and wait?
Just come on, pal. Come on out, buddy. Where are you? He comes out with a fucking cane, shaking.
Oh, no.
Just shaking, all bent over, going, huh? What's that now? And you come up and punch him right in the fucking ear, drop his ass. Take that, old man. Yeah. And then jerk off on him. What do you think of that?
He'd be so old and frail, he wouldn't be able to move fast. We could all just piss on him, and he'd be like hobbling.
I'll show you how to use a dildo. I'll show you how to use a dildo. Get over here, old man. Come here, motherfucker. Yeah, we could pee on him, probably. He wouldn't be able to move.
Wouldn't get away
What's happening?
He'd be like, oh no,
my.
It's so hot.
He'd turn slowly. You can just change the angle of your piss. I feel like, yeah, we could all pee on him.
I could probably take steps and chase him.
Oh, absolutely. You could do that because he can't run.
No.
I don't even think he'd know why you were mad at him anymore. What now? Huh? Who?
It just got on me and I'm already cold.
What's that now?
It's not warm anymore. I'm freezing.
Will you let me back inside? I don't know what these people are. I don't want to be free. I don't know what's happening. Where am I?
This is freedom.
Help. They're peeing on me. That man isn't impotent, and he's going to finish. I know he is. It's going to be all over me. Oh, God. This guy. Fucking. So Herbert's in prison here. Yep. And so old Redbird ends up, well, we won't have to worry about it too much. In July of 99, he's sentenced to prison. And then in 2001, he dies in prison.
He got 2 years.
Fucking dude did like 2 years in jail over this shit. Well, then he did actually 2 years from being caught. So he did a grand total of less than 4 years in jail.
Wow.
For all of this. He was diagnosed with cancer and died pretty much immediately in 2001.
He probably already had cancer when he went in.
Yup. By the way, during all of this, they were hoping that while he was in prison over the next 30 years, they'd be able to clear a shitload more cases. This isn't it for him. They're about 95% positive he's killed many more women, not only in Florida, but also in Tennessee and Virginia as well. There's a trail of unsolved cases that really fit really well with what he does and where he was at the time, too. And they don't think that 83 is when he started.
No, there's no way that's the beginning. That is
serial
far too
killers
vicious.
Generally don't start serial killing at 53.
Right.
That's not. It's not when they start. It's just not. They start earlier. You
and
have
that
to have more
first
energy
one
to start
was
that.
way too good, way too well done.
Exactly. That's the other thing. He had plans.
This. Yeah.
He knew he was going to dump but he wasn't like, oh shit, now what do I do? He knew right where to go, right what to do. It's there's more, man.
Way too.
He moved to Tennessee in 1970.
Holy shit.
And lived there for a couple of years, and they think there was people there. So from 70 to 83, for 13 years, we're pretty sure he was killing women, but we don't know who he killed and where they were.
Oh, boy.
Imagine what was in this man's fucking brain when he died. All of the disgusting fucking dark shit that's in there.
I hope it was words like, I don't want to die like this. I hope that's all that was in there.
Fuck, man. So his daughter, Robin, there's a whole thing. Investigation Discovery did a little thing on this and did a thing on her. And she said it was very difficult for her to find out about and accept her father's crimes and who he was. Yeah. Obviously, as we've seen so many of these serial killers have these kids that come out later. BTK's kid is horrified by him. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we said one loves him unconditionally and one hates his guts and won't talk to him. So it's, that's Richard Kuklinski.
That's right.
Yeah. That's it.
And Dahmer's brother changed his whole name.
Yeah, which I don't blame you. Yeah. You don't want to be Dahmer.
But not even just that, but Jeff picked his fucking name. Like, he named his first name. So he changed his first and his last name. He's like, I'm not having that shit.
Nothing to do with it. Robin said that she thought that she was going to feel relief after his death, that it was just that chapter closed. Yeah. But she said she only felt guilt about it. She felt like she had the burden of the things that he had done, that old Redbird done, and she said she was sorry about what he did to everybody, and she wished that everybody could have found out what happened to their family members that were murdered, that God knows what he did. She did say that she started a family of her own before her father's arrest, but I don't know how that worked out. We don't know if that was like... Your dad being a serial killer could really fuck everything up here. And
A woman that he murdered was named Robin, too. That's crazy.
It's so gross. This guy was such a disgusting fucking monster. This guy was like, and the other thing, too, the map, man. I'm like, did he start, is this a new thing?
Yeah.
Because the map that they don't have maps of any of the other ones. Is this a new thing? Did he draw the map so we could go back to her?
So you'd start really remembering?
Look at her. Fuck, I mean, who knows what he's going back to do, but there's something going on there with the map. And also, we always know these guys progress. They don't just do the same thing over and over again. There's always now I do this. Now I learn this little trick that I like. And there's always something. Because they always want more of these guys. That's the thing.
He killed lots.
He killed lots.
30
dude. He
at
killed
minimum, right?
I mean, like I said, he didn't start at 53 years old.
No way.
That just doesn't happen, or whatever it was, 50-something, was it 35, so 48 it would be. That's still too old to
James,
start.
I'm 41. I would not even...
Way too tired.
Yeah, I would assume that somebody would overpower me, and I'd look like an asshole.
That's got to be you'd have to poop in the middle of it. You'd be like, oh, fuck, I had eggs today. Fuck, never mind, sorry.
I had sourdough toast. It's kicking God. My ass.
Body was found covered in shit. That's strange. Not their own.
Strange.
Men's pants and shit. So yeah, it's a very. There's more, man. I don't know how many, but he started. I mean, it seems to me like Tennessee seemed like the spot where he starts, from what everybody says. And then from there, I mean, like I said, who knows, man? It could be everywhere. We don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Hates them.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely hates women, and he doesn't seem to be that fond of guys either, from what I understand. The only male relationship I can find is a guy he rode in the truck with and threatened to kill if he told him about his rape murders. I mean,
he really opened up to that guy, though.
He did. He wanted to be friends, maybe. Maybe he's lonely. I don't fucking know, but... Perfect Southern gentleman, complete psychopath. We don't know, but we do know he's Redbird. That is what we do know.
He is, yeah.
And that said, if there is something you know, tell us all about it. Tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on, whatever platform. Give us 5 stars. Please. It really does help a tremendous amount. We don't know why, but it helps drive you up the charts. And so thank you for doing that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now, today, where you can get tickets to all the upcoming virtual live shows, or not virtual, live shows. We did the virtual live show already. Yeah. The upcoming live shows in the future. Look at, even if the thing is sold out, check back, because these are rescheduled shows, so they're allowed to return tickets. So as people get closer, they're like, oh shit, I'm going to get my $50 back for those 2 tickets or whatever, you know? So they'll return them, and then maybe you'll get some tickets if you wanted to go see a show.
Somebody in Madison just messaged and asked me if we should come to Madison. I was like, we're going to be in Milwaukee, man. Come there.
It's like an hour and 10 minutes
it's right
away.
There.
Yeah.
And so it's about tickets.
Milwaukee's closer to you than Madison is to me.
Right.
And you. We live way far away. So you come to Madison. How's that?
How much time
How much time would you like us to spend in Wisconsin, really, honestly? Like,
there's only so much.
Not that there's anything wrong with Wisconsin, but we don't live there. We're not, it's enough. I'm just kidding.
I'm not from here.
We're not from here. What do you want from me over here? I actually like Milwaukee.
I'm out of town.
We haven't been to Madison yet, but we will eventually. We'll get there eventually. Maybe. I don't know. So either way. Either way, a lot of people come to our live shows from Madison to Milwaukee, I noticed. So whatever. Either way, come to a live show, see those, get your tickets now. Also, all sorts of new merchandise. Get your Murder Birds shirt. We didn't add Redbird to it, thankfully. We're going to keep him off because he sucks. Get your Murder Bird shirt. Get your coloring books, your Small Town Murder coloring books out there are really a lot of fun. Nothing graphic or anything like that. No. Don't worry. Just some fun cartoony images. Yeah, put some gray in there and check out. You can color friendly and Pocket Robin. And too bad Pickle couldn't be added to the group from this week.
We have birds and dogs, shitloads of them.
Fucking birds, dogs. There was Bowser and Pickle this week.
Bowser and Pickle. Bowser Pickle
friendly. We got them all. Man, I can't remember the other one too. So check all that out. Get your merch. Get all of that at shutupandgivememurder.com. Follow us on social media. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook, at Smalltown Murder on Instagram. Get all of your updates and everything like that right there. Patreon.com/Crime in Sports. My God, do you need to get on here? This is where all the incredibly wild bonus stuff happens. And I'm telling you, the bonus stuff is bonkers, batshit crazy. This week, you get, for anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything. Crime and sports bonus, small town murder bonus, whole back catalog, hundreds of episodes. Get it all there right now. This week, we're going to give you a crazy story for crime and sports about a guy who showed up at a NASCAR race. No one knew who he was, faked disqualifications, ran in the race, crashed like 5 fucking times, took off after the race. Yeah. No one knew who he was, where he came from, never showed up again. And then 40 years later, like 2 weeks ago, he pops up out of nowhere and he's like, I'm over here. Here's what happened.
I'm here for the reunion.
It's fucking crazy story, man. It's so crazy. We love a scammer. And then for small town murder, obviously we have nutty shit for small town murder. We're going to talk about how video games and music sometimes get blamed for murders that happen in real life, and some specific murders that were blamed on pop culture bullshit that doesn't make you murder. Yeah. It just doesn't. Right. If music makes you murder, your brain was weak to begin with. I'm sorry.
If music makes you murder, I would be historic.
A lot of us would. Terrible shit. So that said, get everything there. Patreon.com/crime and sports, and you'll get a shout out here as well. As a matter of fact, that shout-out is going to come right about now. Jimmy, I think you know. Well, also another way to get a shout-out, go to PayPal, use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Extra karma.
Jimmy, extra karma. It's beautiful and wonderful. Anybody who does this, we do it. Damn well appreciate it. I need to be hit with the names. I need to feel better because this episode grossed me out.
Yeah.
So as funny as some of the shit was, it's also gross and terrible, and I feel terrible for all these fucking people, and it's just bad. So I need good feelings. Yeah. Hit me with the names of the people who would never, ever, ever do any of these terrible things to us and leave us in borrow pits. Hit me with them, Jimmy.
This week's executive producer, Jordan Bennett. Patricia Butler kicking the shit out of cancer. Keep going, Patty.
Hey,
did you go by Patty? Congrats. I don't know if you do or not. That was a disgusting assumption. Well done, Patricia.
Someone could call me Jimmy. I'm not going to get mad at them. Like, I don't care.
All right. Sammy Weir, Greg Thomas, Tasha Messmer, Joey Morley, and a Franz Chingona real estate. I think it's a Franz Chingona. I don't know.
Just buy a house, everybody.
From A. Franz. Maybe the Franz.
From Palm Franz Chingona. Buy them from him. A. Franz.
Or
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're Palasama Hollemans, I don't know.
Doing a lot of assuming in this. I don't know if it's. I don't know who it is. It may not be a person.
Of assumptions here, Jimmy.
A Franz Chingona might be some car. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like a nice watch.
It does.
It's a nice Franz Chingona. Is that a Franz Chingona? That's a nice one.
And our special tonight is the Franz Chingona.
Oh. Is that sauteed or? Oh, you do it in the pan. Okay, yeah, we'll take that then.
The white wine prawn sauce. Thank you guys so much, truly. Other producers this week are Corporal Carl Kirshner, Tony Simpson, Happy Hour checking in Eugene, Oregon, Joey Pepperoni Nips, Peyton Meadows, James Martyr, Thomas Smith, Deadhead Dan in Illinois, Julie Matt or Matei. She had a baby. Congratulations, Julie. Jennifer Bonfiglio, Sophia Strickland running marathons for no goddamn reason. Good work. Hang on. For whatever reason you guys do those.
Why don't you fucking relax a little bit, huh?
Why don't you sit down, Sophia? Take a break.
Just sit down and relax. What are you doing?
Too many miles.
Giuseppe you got somewhere to be or what?
Giuseppe Enrico Ferrara Tiberi.
Yes.
That's
a good one.
Edward Stewart, Samantha Quigley, happy birthday. Steve Schnell, Janice Hill, Frank the South African Birdwasher, Angela Ball, you're so great. Not us, you're so great. John Daniel, Brendan Abels, Matt Jules Sonnet, Corey Ostrander, Kelsey Blake, nope, that's Break. Griff with no last name, Earl Cunningham, Nathan Davis, Mariah Bruce, Robbie Coomer, Lauren Coots maybe, Uncle Grady, Janae Wood, not Hood. Tanae Crystal, Scuffling Hillbilly Patrick Fleming. I imagine he fights. DJ Fetty. That's the man's name, DJ Fetty. Dustin Chrisman, okay. Jennifer Leach, Rick Conlon, Jamie Hayes, Kristen with no last name, Shelton Leverett, Taylor Martin, Miss Root, Tylene, I think, Alton with no last name, Damon Webb, Tim Becker, Robert Walker, Samuel Lyon, Lori Villancourt, Valancourt. Oh, Valancourt? I don't know. Kim Leverett, Debbie Spencer, Philip Blair, Zach Harris, Lance Day, Sarah Parker, Alexa Joseph, Danny Ruiz, Jesse Fetty, Conduit. Oh, Fedgy. Jess Fedgy, Conduit of Veggies. Spencer Brown, Jerry Bowling, Renette with no last name, Eliza Gallego, that's it. Diane Elette, Melissa Pieri.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. Garrett Wolverton, Julia X, Goat, Dale, Dragonsons, Karen Creasy, Pedro Davila, Evan Pilkington, Ramey Beach, Norma Metzger, Deja, Brian, no last name, Brian Rudinger, Common Gutter Drunk, Barbara Antley, Laura with no last name, Finn Liebecky, Eliza Matern, Jose Luis Mercado, Dylan Sponseller, Dana Hutchinson, Jade Lloyd, Jennifer Walters, Trisha Davis, Garrett Eade, Justin Eldridge, Neil Wyckoff, what does this say? Weinkauf? I don't know. April Barnes, Sarah with no last name, Andrea Jones, Savannah Weller, Tim Purcell, Wendy Middleton, Brad Phillips, Andrea Holly, Hale, Timothy Hodges, Kristen Matheson, and Nicole Ortiz, Haley Haley, Marie, Darius Johnson, Alex Holvalchik, Sherry Butler, Butcher, damn it, C. McDermott, Jennifer Martin, Friday Baldwin, Jenny Scooter, Erica Polly, Evan Irwin, Stacy with no last name, Amanda Martika, Nicole Douglas, Tiara with, that's just Tara with no last name,
Tiara,
Maureen Wilson, Don Moody, Justin Case, all right, sure, John Hackney, Mr. Tracy, Bobby Bunyo, Leah W., Kaylee Garner, Julia Vallado, Meta Somerville, Braden with no last name, Jenna McKenzie, Tyler Bell, Cindy Caldenaro, SC, Tattooed Cactus, Cody Coaster, Natasha Barker, Rob Dixon, Robert Hand, Robert Kolak, Todd Smith, Audra T., Carl with no last name, Leanne Heathman, Jennifer Page, Seth Miller, Kevin Wilmington, Olivia Fisher, Melissa Lovelace, Jamie Byington, Amber Dagerstrom, Kaylin Yeagle, Lacey Wright, Paz Barnett, Dylan DeLazio, Megan Durr, Christian Eisinger, Jesus, Amy Box, Outside Bullet, Shelby Feller, Laura Cologne, I think it's Cologne, that's not colon, Dylan Morell, Lindsay Lavelle, Wale Solai, Kiara Brown, Mark Turner, Stephanie and Craig, Vincent Dame, Jose with no last name, Ryan McGinley, The Popcorn Effect, Shannon Proctor, Logan Clark, Make Hancock. That's got to be Mike. That can't be Make. Daniel.
Make Hancock.
Make
it.
All
Make
right.
it.
Danielle Hudson, Lucas Sheets, Ellie Boyce, Ellie from Texas, Olivia Francis, Zach Sutton, Katie N., Matthew with no last name, Jennifer Hess, Colin Whitney, Tucker with no last name, Matthew Finney, Cora Wolf, Anna Bloomquist, Heather Hunter, Casey Menth, Ken Reigel, Samuel Marta, Julio Barcia, Justin Yaquinto, Kai with no last name, Jackie Stanley, Lauren G, Desiree Harry Hare, Derek Bro, Bry Mundorf, Vanessa Alicia, and Audrey gonna be a Rudd, Matthew Lawrence, Philip Kelly, Violi Carroll, Ellie Green, Caitlin Voss maybe, Rebecca Yeager, RM, Felix, I almost called him physical, Hernandez, Felix Hernandez, Brian Rogalski, Ashley Powell, Ken Fritz, Maureen Keller, Paul C., Rhino, and the Jerk, and all of our patrons. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us every single day, and telling your friends, to spreading it on social media, to everything that you do. Anything. We appreciate it. Thank you for giving two shits about us.
You make these shows
even one
viral.
shit.
Oh, yeah. I'll take one.
I'll take one shit. One each. There you go. One shit apiece we'll take. We're
Double
not
Amber
picky.
Heard us.
That's all. That's all. So that said, yes, thank you so much. If you want to get a hold of us, very easy to do that. Just go to the website, shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to our social media, or just search Small Town Murder Podcast Hosts. There's only 2 of us, and if you find others, let us know, because they're full of shit. We'll go kick their goddamn asses. So that said, thank you so much for joining us. Keep coming back. Go join us, obviously, on Friday for Small Town Murder Express. We will be there. Yeah. Oh, of course, you know that. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country, who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.